What's up, friends? I think we should be live. Looks like we are. Looks good. Let me just make sure. I think. Okay. There we go. Let me get that pinned message set. That way we have the deck list for everyone. Welcome, friends. If you're new to the channel or to the podcast, my name is Tryon, or Try for short. Preferred pronouns, they, them, but any and all are acceptable. Hey, very excited because it's finally time. We are talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Magic the Gathering. Oh boy, I have been waiting for this for like 6 months. It's finally here. And I set a goal for myself. I wanted to build what I'm affectionately calling Sewer Cube. So it's one of each card from the main set, and then there's a number of expansions to it, ranging from the Team Up product to the Commander product to the source material bonus sheet, the secret layer cards. Basically, every card that has to do with turtles we'll be seeing. It is going to be, this is part of a 2-part podcast. So the first part tonight, we're just talking about the main set cards, what they do, and maybe even going over some of their references and stuff with my pretty extensive knowledge of Ninja Turtles. But very excited. Want to let everybody know ads are coming up in a few minutes. If you don't want to watch them, a couple of ways you can do that. Subscribing is a great way to avoid watching ads. You get 20 free emotes that you can use all across Twitch. It is Milady March because it's Women's Month. So you have a bunch of women-themed emotes with female characters. In addition, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub with Twitch Prime every month. Why not consider this channel? I think it's pretty good, but I'm also pretty biased. In addition to those, maybe you were gifted a sub in the last big sub bomb we had, and you want to help a homie not watch ads and pay it forward. You can do so by gifting subs yourself. On top of that, I totally get it. There's a lot of streamers out there. You can't sub to everybody. If you have Twitch Turbo, it's like $13 a month, and it lets you watch ad-free across all of Twitch, and then Twitch pays the streamer the same amount as if a Tier 1 sub was watching during an ad break. And finally, I know the economy's a mess. If you can't afford to do those, but you still want to toss a coin to your streamer, you can do so in the form of bits. It's a great way to say, hey, thanks for doing what you do. Keep doing it without breaking the bank. That said, any and all financial compensation on this channel is always appreciated, but never required. Just the fact that you're here interacting with the stream in chat, or even if you're just quietly lurking and enjoying, maybe having this on your second monitor, listening in the background while you work, or on your morning drive, whatever the case may be, thank you so much. Now, all that aside, let's get into some turtles, shall we? I'm gonna boost my light here a little bit. There we go. Make it a little bit brighter. And let's flip the camera around here. There we go. And there we go. That way I can see what we're talking about. Also, want to shout out to Happy Boy Games for providing all the different iterations of the channel theme. Yo, what's up, Spo? How's it going, buddy? Welcome on in. Thank you for that, my streamer, my viewer. Glad to see you. Good to have you. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. Let me get you some shout-outs, too. There we go. And then There we go. Got those shout-outs in chat. Yeah, so let's talk turtles, shall we? Very excited. If y'all didn't know, I am a lifelong Ninja Turtle fan. I've been a fan ever since I can remember. Like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out in 1985. I came out in 1986. So, Turtles and I are just about the same age, and I've loved them my entire life. So, let's get into the card, shall we? Sorry, had to hydrate there. We're going to be doing a lot of yapping. A lot of yapping today. Alright. So, up first, we have the Action News Crew. It's 1 and a white for a human citizen creature with vigilance. 2/2. And they have the ability Channel 6. Channel for 6 mana. You discard this card. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control and draw a card. I love this is a flavor win because the Action News Crew, it's Vernon and Irma, they're co-workers of April O'Neil who work at Channel 6 News. So I love that they put Channel for 6. Very fun, very flavorful. Next up, we have Agent Bishop, Man in Black. It's a 2 and a white for a 1/2 legendary human soldier. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. So, beefs your board up. If I remember right, Agent Bishop, I think, was he secretly in Utrom? I think he was from the, 2003 series, which I'm not as familiar with. I grew up more with the 1987 cartoon and the movies, but he's an agent. But this ability of 2 creatures get a 1/1 counter, we've seen similar abilities like this before, but never 2 creatures. So for 3 mana, a 1/2 that can beef your board, and he can choose himself as well. So you could have a 3 mana 2/3 that also makes something else bigger. It's pretty decent. Next up, we have April O'Neil, Kunoichi Trainee, 1 and a white for a 2/2 legendary human ninja. When April O'Neil enters, scry 2. So to scry, you look at the top 2 cards of your library. You can put them back. You can put them on the bottom or back on top, but in any order. So you get a little card selection there. Also, April O'Neil can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. Note that if you beef her power up, she still can't be blocked by creatures power 3 or greater. So she's a great target for all those 1/1 counters. Next we have Dimensional Exile, 1 and a white for an enchantment aura. Each basic land, enchant basic land you control. When this aura enters, you exile target creature an opponent controls until this aura leaves the battlefield. So you get kind of an Oblivion Ring type effect. You just get to remove something. And it's enchanting a land. So the only way to remove this is if your opponent is playing enchantment removal or land destruction, which you don't see a lot of either these days in Magic. And of course, the art there is Krang coming through the portal from Dimension X, or rather, them sending him back. Next up, we have the Eastwind Avatar. I know the joke is, wasn't the Avatar set a few months ago? Yeah, so the Avatar line in this are, they were introduced as part of the Armageddon game storyline that happened in the IDW books towards the end of its 150 issue run. It was like from issue 130 to 150 they were doing the Armageddon game, and they introduced this whole family of avatars, which we had seen a few before, like Kunoichi or Kitsune and the Rat King. And then we were introduced to the rest of the Pantheon as well. So, Eastwind Avatar here, 3 and a white for a 2/4 bird spirit avatar with flying and vigilance. And Alliance, which is a returning ability from Streets of New Capenna. So, the Alliance trigger for this, whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So, you could potentially make yourself a Sarah Angel for less mana. Pretty good. And this is the character Azrael, who's the avatar of the East Winds. Next up, we have Feather-Brained Filcher. One white mana, or a white mana rather, for a 0/2 bird mutant with flying. When this creature leaves the battlefield, create a food token. It's one of my favorite characters, Pigeon Pete. He's a member of, he's a creation from the IDW run of comics. And he's a member of the Mighty Mutanimals. He's just a big derpy bird. Pete's fun. Next up, we have Grounded for Life, 4 and a white for an instant that says this spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a tapped creature. You destroy target creature. So of course you have Splinter here reading a newspaper saying that the turtles were spotted above ground. So they're getting grounded. Next we have Hamato Guardian Stance, a white mana for an instant. Target creature gets +1/+3 and gains flying until end of turn, and scry 1. I really like the artwork here is super cool. That we have Splinter holding his wooden cane, and all of the turtles kind of attacking with their weapons, and him pretty easily, seemingly, disarming them with his cane. After that, we have High Flying Ace, one of my favorites. 2 and a white for a 2/3 bird mutant with flying, and you can pay 3 and a white. Target creature without flying gains flying until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. This is one of my favorite toys growing up. This is the character Ace Duck, who didn't appear in the older cartoon much, but he was one of the early Playmates action figures, one that I had as a kid and was one of my favorites. He was the one that would fly their blimp for them, because he was a pilot who got turned into a mutant. Next up, we have my new favorite turtle. Donatello was always my favorite growing up until they introduced this character here, Jenica Bad Apple Big Sister. So Jenica is, she costs 4 and a white for a legendary mutant ninja turtle, 3/3. With when Jenica enters, you create a 2/2 red mutant creature token, and has plane cycling for 2. So you pay 2, discard this card, and you get to search your library for A planes. Doesn't have to be basic. Reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle. So Jenica was a member of the Foot Clan at the point when Splinter took control of the Foot Clan after he killed Shredder in the Vengeance storyline around issue 50 of the IDW run. Well, as we were leading into the City Fall storyline at issue 100, Jenica got mortally wounded and had to get a blood transfusion from Leonardo, which transformed her into a mutant turtle. So she is now the 5th turtle. And I love the ability there. She creates a 2/2 red mutant. So in the comics, Jenica is, to the best of my knowledge, the first canonically LGBTQ character in Ninja Turtles, because she starts a relationship with this character in the background, Sheena, who's she's a punk rocker who got mutated when this mutagen bomb went off in the heart of New York City, creating a mutant town. She gets mutated into a pig, and their relationship is actually very sweet because both of them were humans that were turned into mutants. Neither one really wanted it to happen, but they've made the best of that situation. Next we have Koya, Death from Above, 2 and a white for a 2/1 legendary bird mutant ninja bird with flying. When Koya enters, exile up to one other target creature. At the beginning of the next end step, you may pay 3 and a black. If you don't, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. So this card is a white card but has a black ability. The cool thing is because it can target a creature, you could get a flicker effect to re-trigger your ETBs, your enter the battlefield effects. Or if you have the extra 4 mana, you just permanently exile something of your opponent's. Koya is one of the mutants that was created by Karai when she was taking charge of the Foot Clan. Next we have the Last Ronin's Technique. 3 and a white for an instant with Sneak, 1 and a white. So Sneak is one of the new mechanics for this set. Says you may cast this spell for 1 and a white. If you do, if you also return an unblocked attacker you control to hand during the declare blocker's step. So it's similar to the ninjutsu ability, except that with ninjutsu it is an ability, so it can't be countered with spells. This you are casting. Ninjutsu only works on creatures. Sneak can also be on non-creature spells. So and ninjutsu also has another weird timing thing where like you can ninjutsu something after it's dealt combat damage because it's still technically considered unblocked. With Sneak, it has to be before damage has been dealt. So I really like how they've kind of fixed ninjutsu and made it a little more easier to react to for players. But the spell itself lets you create 3 1/1 white ninja turtle spirit creature tokens. And if this spell if its sneak cost was paid, they enter tapped and attacking. So you just make 3 1/1 attackers. You just return something that you control that's attacking, maybe something that has a good enter the battlefield effect, and you get 3 more attackers. Also wanted to point out the end goal. I have completed the sewer cube, and eventually all of the cards in the main set will be foiled. I didn't have time to do that right away, but eventually that is what the end goal will be. So we have a couple cards that may not be the regular treatment and may not be in foil, but those are basically in there so that the cube is now playable, and then eventually they will be swapped out for the normal border foils. So up next we have Leader's Talent, 1 and a white for an enchantment class. So when this enchantment enters, you get this first ability. Then you can pay its level up to add the next ability, and then its final level up to add the final ability. This was an idea that was introduced in, I want to say, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. And if not there, then Bloomborough, I believe. So, Leader's Talent, whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. That's just good. For 2 mana, every combat, something of yours gets bigger. For 2 and a white, you can go to level 2, which still includes level 1, but then adds whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield. If it had a counter on it, you gain 2 life. So works great with all the sneaky abilities. And then for level 3, it's 3 and a white. that says whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That is backbreaking. I cast any spell, triggers off my sneak, I sneak something in, I get a 1/1 counter on all my stuff. And when I'm sneaking something out, I'm gaining 2 life. And at the start of that combat, I beef something. So this is just a great way to boost your board. Next up, we have Leonardo Big Brother 2 and a white for a 1/3 legendary mutant ninja turtle with sneak for 1 white, or for a white rather. Leonardo gets +1/+0 for each other creature you control. So he comes down as a 1/3, but if you have other creatures, he can come down for a lot more. Say you cast that Last Ronin's Technique, makes the 3 1/1s. You're getting a 4/3 for 3 mana. That's just great. Continuing through the rest of the white cards, that was about the first half. Second half, we have Leonardo Cutting Edge, 1 and a white for a legendary mutant ninja turtle, 1/1 with sneak for a white, has lifelink, and whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Leonardo. So we've seen effects like this with a Johnny's Pride Mate before. They can get wildly out of hand very quickly. So you attack with something, you pay the sneak cost, you get in, you gain a life, and this becomes a 2/2. And then the next time it hits, it becomes a 3/3, and so on. But you can make it bigger by putting more counters on it and gain more life. Also, if you have that Leader's Talent, something leaves the battlefield, you gain 2 life. So this can get really big really quick. Up next, we have Leonardo Leader in Blue, a white mana for a legendary mutant ninja turtle, 2/1 with sneak, 3 white. So this is one of the few times we've seen the sneak cost being more than the regular cost. But when Leonardo enters, if his sneak cost was paid, creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. So he can trumpet blast your board and just make all of your attackers huge. It's a great way to get a, you swing in with everything, you pay the 5, you get another body in place of one, and then your whole board gets boosted. Also has pay 1 and a white, Leonardo gains first strike until end of turn. So it's a great way to ensure that he sticks around through multiple combats. You just give him first strike. After that, we have Leonardo Sewer Samurai. This is a fun little reference because Leonardo Sewer Samurai was one of the Leonardo variant toys that they made back in the day. Cost 3 and a white for a legendary mutant ninja turtle samurai, 3/3 with sneak for 2 and 2 white, and has double strike. So he's dealing at minimum 6 damage for 4 mana. And during your turn, you may cast creature spells with power or toughness 1 or less from your graveyard. If you cast a spell this way, that creature enters with a finality counter on it. Finality counters are basically, if it would die, exile it instead. But if you blink or flicker the creature that has a finality counter, or return it to your hand, any of those kinds of things, the finality counter falls off. So if you have the, like Koya, you use Koya to exile something and then return it. It's a great way to recast something and let it stick around without that finality counter. Plus, again, 3/3 double strike for 4 mana is wildly powerful. Next up, we have Leonardo's Technique, 3 and a white for a sorcery with sneak, 1 and a white. It says return 1 or 2 target creature cards, each with mana value 3 or less, from your graveyard to the battlefield. So you get up to 6 mana from your graveyard back into play for 2 mana. That's great. Or 4 if you're just hard casting it. Like, that is a very good return on your mana spent. Then we have Lita, Little Orphan Amphibian. 1 and a white for a legendary mutant ninja turtle. 2/1 with Alliance. So again, whenever another creature you control enters, you choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Either put a +1/+1 counter on Lita, or create a food token, or scry 1. So we've seen a similar effect with the card Gala Greeters. Had something similar to this. But slightly different choice effects. This is just a great ability. You play something else and Lita gets bigger, or she gets you some life gain, makes artifacts, which is a subtype that matters in this set, or she helps you with your card draw or card selection for your draws. Very good on a 2 mana creature. Next we have Make Your Move. This is actually a card that is reprinted from, I want to say it was Murders at Karlov Manor originally. 2 and a white for an instant. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with power 4 or greater. It's just good removal. Is there an artifact that's in your way? Is there an enchantment like Leader's Talent that's problematic? Do they have a big creature that's stopping you? Great removal spell. And the scene here, Leonardo fighting these foot ninja in the snow, I believe this was from, I want to say this was from the IDW Leonardo, was it the Micro Series? I think it was the Micro Series, not the Macro Series. He's fighting a bunch of foot ninja and gets very, very badly wounded. Next we have Mighty Mutanimals, 2 and 2 white for a Mutant Rebel 2/1. When this creature enters, create a 2/2 red mutant creature token. So you're getting 2 bodies for that 4 mana. You get a 2/2 and a 2/1. And has Alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So in reality, because this comes in, and when it enters it makes a 2/2, and so it immediately procs the Alliance ability. So you could have a 3/2 and a 2/2 for 4 mana, which is just wildly good. It's wildly good. These Mighty Mutanimals, I don't know off the top of my head. I think these are some of the ones that join up with Old Hob during the City at War storyline after the mutagen bomb goes off. The Mighty Mutanimals in the IDW run are run by, they're led by Old Hob, who's this one-eyed alley cat, who we'll be seeing later on. Next we have Prehistoric Pet, a white mana for a Dinosaur Ninja 1/2. With this creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. And 1 and a white and tap, return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. Activate only during your turn. So again, great way to, and it can be instant speed. It just has to be during your turn. So if your opponent is going to kill one of your creatures, you can pop them back to hand. Or say you go to attack in and they flash out a blocker or something, you can pull them back to your hand and save your creatures. This little cute dinosaur with the bandana is named Pepperoni. Becomes a pet that Raphael gets from, I don't remember exactly. I think there was a mini, if I remember right, there was a mini series in IDW just called Turtles in Time, when they go back to the prehistoric era, and they meet this tiny little Triceratops, and they adopt him and call him Pepperoni. It's very cute. Next up, we have Quintessential Katana, a white mana for an artifact equipment. Says equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature deals combat damage, untap it and you gain 2 life. And whenever a ninja you control enters, you may attach this equipment to it. So this is great for the rare Leonardo with lifelink that gets 1/1 counters when you gain life. You just put this on him, and now he's a 2/2 that's becoming bigger, and when he's dealing combat damage, you're gaining life and then gaining more life, which are 2 separate instances of life gain. It's wildly good. But also has equip for 2. So even if you just hard cast and equip, 3 mana for +1/+1 that gains you life and basically gives you pseudo vigilance because you do untap the creature after it deals damage. Very good equipment. I also really like that the art has Leonardo's picture. It has his reflection in the window of the antiques and collectibles store. Next we have Sally Pride, Lioness Leader, 3 white for a legendary cat mutant rebel, 2/4. With when Sally Pride enters, create X 2/2 red mutant creature tokens, where X is the number of non-token creatures you control. And whenever Sally Pride attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So Sally, if I remember correctly, she was a member of the Mighty Mutanimals, but upon Old Hob detonating the mutagen bomb, she did not like that, and so she ends up leaving and eventually creating a resistance force for the mutants in Mutant Town. If I remember correctly. It has been a minute since I've read the City at War storyline. Next we have Triceraton Commander, XX white for a dinosaur soldier 2/2 with flying. And whenever this creature attacks, dinosaurs you control other than this creature get +1/+1 and gain flying until end of turn. And when this creature enters, create X 2/2 white dinosaur soldier creature tokens. So, if you pay, if the X equals 1, you're paying 4 mana, you're getting 2/2/2s. That one of them becomes a 3/3 and gets flying. If you pay 6 mana, so if X equals 2, you're getting 3 2/2s. So you can really have a board in a box here and just create an entire board state that your opponents have to answer, because the fact that all of those 2/2 tokens are becoming 3/3s with flying whenever he attacks is just absolutely back-breaking. Next up, we have Turncoat Kunoichi, 2 and a white for a mutant ninja fox 3/2 with sneak 2 white/black. And when this creature enters, choose target creature an opponent controls, exile that creature until this creature leaves the battlefield. If this creature's sneak cost was paid, instead exile the chosen creature. So if you pay the 3 mana, you get to Oblivion Ring something, right? You O-ring it. Comes in, she exiles something until she's gone. But if you sneak her in, you just permanently exile the thing, and they get no benefits, no bonuses, nothing. It's just gone. This is the character Alopex. She's a snow fox who was a member of the Foot Clan that ends up turning on them and joining the Turtles. Had a relationship with Raphael for a while. That's possibly been rekindled in the most recent Battle Nexus miniseries. We're not entirely sure yet. Battle Nexus just ended, so we haven't really seen the fallout of that yet. But I like Alopex. She's a really cool character. Next, we have possibly my favorite art in the set. We have Turtles Forever. 3 and white for an instant says search your library and or outside the game for exactly 4 legendary creature cards you own with different names, then reveal those cards. An opponent chooses 2 of them, put the chosen cards in your hand, and shuffle the rest into your library. So, as you can see here, we have a version of the Ninja Turtles from their 4 most, in my mind, prominent iterations. So you have Michelangelo from the Mirage era, the original era of comics. You have the live-action movie Donatello. You have the 87 animated series Raphael. And I'm not sure if this is supposed to be the just Magic the Gathering version of Leonardo, or if it's because it kind of also looks like the IDW comics run, or possibly the 2000. I don't think it's the 2003 series, but you have 4 different eras of Ninja Turtles, all on one card, which is super cool. I really like the art on that. And finally, in white, we have Uneasy Alliance. 1 and a white for an enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block, and you can pay 5 and sacrifice this aura to exile the enchanted creature. You create a 1/1 black ninja creature token. Activate only as a sorcery. So we've seen effects like this before, like in the card Pacifism. You just lock a creature down, it can't attack or block. If it has activated or triggered abilities, they can still be triggered or activated. But you, as the owner of this card, could pay 5 and just exile the thing that this is enchanted on. And then you get a body out of it, which is pretty good. The art here is Karai, Shredder's granddaughter, and Leonardo, when they kind of join forces for a time. They team up because there's bigger threats. If I remember correctly, I think this is part of Armageddon game, I want to say. Basically, it's the Turtles end up joining up with the Foot Clan because they have a larger enemy. It's what causes Alopex to leave the Turtles group. It was kind of a big moment in the comics. And it's especially cool to see Leonardo being the one who kind of agrees to this bargain when these two were rivals back during the City Fall storyline, when Shredder brainwashed Leonardo into becoming his Chunin, replacing Karai. So she had this like jealous rivalry with him and hated him for it. And that's all of the white cards in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's take a look at the blue cards next. So up first, we have April O'Neil, Hacktivist, 3 and a blue for a legendary human scientist, 1/5. With, at the beginning of your end step, draw a card for each card type among spells you've cast this turn. So, kind of neat that you can, you cast a creature spell, you cast an instant, you get to draw 2. Or if you cast a sorcery and an enchantment and a creature, you get to draw 3. She could potentially draw you a lot of cards. This probably is more commonly used in... You'd probably more commonly see this in Commander, where you're much more likely to have multiple cards cast in a turn rather than limited. But the cool thing is, if you play an artifact creature, that is 2 types. So you cast an artifact creature, you do get to draw 2 cards, which is pretty neat. Then we have April, Reporter of the Weird, 2 and a blue for a legendary human detective, 2/2, with whenever April deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards, then discard a card. So at minimum, you're drawing 2, discarding 1. But if you put a couple 1/1 counters on her, you could be drawing a lot more than that. Next, we have the Bespoke Bow, 2 and a blue for an artifact equipment. It says when this equipment enters, return up to 1 other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So you potentially get to unsummon, or the nice thing is because it's non-land permanent, maybe there's a problematic enchantment you need to get off the board. Anything like that, you just bounce it back to the owner's hand. You can also target your own stuff. If you just want to re-trigger their ETB effects, whatever the case may be. And equipped creature gets +2/+1 and has vigilance and equips for 3. So, not a bad, I mean, it's 3 mana to cast, you get to bounce something. If you have the 3 mana, you equip it on a creature, they get bigger and have vigilance. It's pretty decent. Feels pretty flavorful to Donatello, being the, you know, the brains of the group, having vigilance. He's always on lookout. Next, we have Buzzbots, 1 and a blue for an artifact robot, an artifact creature. Robot insect, 1/1 with flying and vigilance, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Great. You just keep swinging in with it. It leaves itself up as a blocker. Great to chump block with, because then you get to draw a card. It's just a good, solid creature for 2 mana. Next up, we have Crustacean Commando, 1 and a blue for a Crab Mutant Soldier, 0/3, with when this creature enters, create a mutagen token. So mutagen is one of the new artifacts that came out with this set. Mutagens are pay 1, tap, and sacrifice this token. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, activate only as a sorcery. So, 2 mana 0/3 or 3 mana 1/4, or whatever the case may be, right? It's just a decent effect. He makes you another, it's rectangle theory. He makes you another rectangle that you can use, and it's an artifact, which can matter, and it does +1 counters, which is huge in this set. This character is Herman the Hermit Crab. He's another member of the Mighty Mutanimals from the IDW run. He's very much a military, yes sir, no sir, sir, hostiles type character. I do love that as a hermit crabs, of course, will just find whatever shell is big enough to house them. Herman found a dumpster. That's his shell. And they've modified it. This shell is actually full of, like, machine guns inside it. Next, we have Does Machines, 1 and a blue for an enchantment class. When this class enters, mill 2 cards. So you take the top 2 cards from your library, put them in your graveyard, draw 2 cards, and then discard 2 cards. So you basically get to see 4 cards. And in your graveyard, it's pretty good, because graveyard, a lot of people underestimate graveyard. Your graveyard is kind of like an extra hand, depending on how your deck runs. Especially when you look at level 2 for 1 and a blue. When this class becomes level 2, return up to 2 target artifact cards from your graveyard to your hand. So if you're in a very heavy artifact deck, those 2 you milled could also go back to your hand. Or the 2 you discarded even. And then level 3, 4 and a blue, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put 3+1/+1 counters on target artifact you control. If it isn't a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot creature in addition to its other types. This is just great. Just on combat, you turn one of your mutagen tokens or a food token into a 3/3, or any of your other artifacts. If you have another artifact creature like the Buzzbots, you just turn the Buzzbots into a 4/4 flying vigilance. That's a problem your opponents have to answer now. Next, we have Donatello Gadget Master, 2 and a blue for a legendary mutant ninja turtle, 3/2 with sneak for 1 and a blue. With whenever Donatello deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control. Just more artifact synergies. You're getting extra artifacts. If it's an artifact creature, great, you have 2 of them. If it's a mutagen or a food or whatever the case may be, just you hit somebody, you make more rectangles. Next we have Donatello Mutant Mechanic, 3 and a blue for a legendary mutant ninja turtle, 3/5. With tap, put 3+1/+1 counters on target artifact you control. If it isn't a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot creature in addition to its other types. Activate only as a sorcery. If you also have Does Machines out, you have a 6/6. That's wild. And whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on up to 1 target artifact or creature you control. So you could, let's say you put the 3/1/1 counters on a mutagen token, you then pay the 1, sacrifice the mutagen token, you could put those 3/1/1 counters on Donatello or one of your other creatures, whatever, wherever you want. Next we have Donatello Turtle Techie, 3 and a blue for a legendary mutant ninja turtle, 3/4. With when Donatello enters, if you control an artifact, draw a card. That's great. 3/4 with card draw for 4 mana? That's just good. We have Donatello Way with Machines next. 2 and a blue for a legendary mutant ninja turtle. 1/2 with flying. And whenever an artifact you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on Donatello. So if you're making tons of artifacts, this can get real big real quick. And he has flying. That's a great way to just kill an opponent. After that, we have Donatello's Technique, 2 and a blue for a sorcery with sneak for a single blue. Draw 2 cards. You love to see it. Hey, 3 mana, draw 2? That's great. 1 mana, draw 2 is insane. This is a very, I think this is a very slept on card. I don't think enough people are realizing how good this is. Drawing cards wins games. Next we have Fugitive Droid, a blue mana for an artifact creature robot scientist, 1/1. With this creature can't be blocked if an artifact entered the battlefield under your control this turn. And pay a blue, sacrifice this creature, counter target spell that targets an artifact or creature you control. So you've just got a counter on a stick. Is your opponent trying to remove something? Great. You can counter it by just sacking this. Also, this is Professor Honeycutt. He had his brain, his brain wavelengths transferred into this robot called, this fugitive droid that they called the Fugitoid. It was a very interesting era in the Ninja Turtles. They were going to space. You had the Triceratons attacking. It was a cool time in the comics. Now for the next half of the blue, starting off with another avatar. This one You actually get her name, though. Kitsune Dragon's Daughter, 4 blue for a legendary Fox Warlock avatar. 6/6 with Vigilance. So, 6 mana, 6/6 with Vigilance. Already great. But also has, whenever Kitsune enters or deals combat damage to a player, you may exchange control of 2 other target creatures controlled by different players. Do you have a little 1/1 ninja? You can trade it for their big giant problem creature. Do you have any kind of like little derpy creature, the Pigeon Pete, the Derp Bird? Give it to your opponent. Take something good of theirs. That's just great. And it does it on enter and combat damage. And has Vigilance. A Vigilance 6/6. This card is nuts. Next we have Kitsune's Technique, 4 blue for an instant with Sneak for 1 and a blue. Target opponent mills half their library, rounded up. I saw this and was like, for 2 mana, so you attack with Kitsune and something else. You or ninjutsu or Sneak Kitsune herself. You just mill half your opponent's library. They hate that. Opponents hate when you mill them, especially in limited. You can hit so many cards off of this. If this is in Commander, that's wildly powerful. You can also see the Kitsune's Technique there. This is when Kitsune brainwashes Leonardo to join the Foot Clan. Because if you didn't know, Kitsune is one of the avatars, right? She's one of the otherworldly beings, but is also Shredder's lover and advisor. So that's where she fits into the IDW Comics universe. Next we have Shredder, Build Me a Body. It's Krang Mastermind. 6 blue for a legendary artifact Utrom Warrior. It's not Ultrom. It's not Utrom. It's Utrom. I've watched so many Magic creators that, like, they know a lot about Magic. Bless their hearts, not a lot of them know much about turtles. But I've even seen some comic book channels that are like, yeah, the Ultroms. The what? No, Ultron is in Avengers. This is Utrom. 1/4 with affinity for artifacts. So this spell costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. So if you got a decent number of artifacts, this could be a 2 mana 1/4. With when Krang enters, if you have fewer than 4 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. So if this was your last card in hand, and you got enough artifacts, you pay 2 mana, you draw 4 cards, and Krang gets +1/+0 for each other artifact you control. Mind you, remember it's 6 and 2 blue. If we have 6 artifacts, this comes down for 2 mana and gets +1/+0 for each of those 6 artifacts. That's a 7/4 for 2 mana. It's wild. Next up, we have Metalhead. I love Metalhead. He was such a cool character. Also, a real badass in the IDW comics. So Metalhead here costs 4 and a blue for a legendary artifact Robot Turtle, 4/4. When Metalhead enters, return up to 1 other target artifact or creature to its owner's hand. You can bounce something of your opponent's. You could bounce something of yours and re-trigger its ETB effects. And you could pay a red mana and sacrifice another artifact to put a +1/+1 counter on Metalhead, and he gains Menace and Haste until end of turn. Great. That's just great. A 5 mana 5/5 with Menace and Haste the turn it comes down. I have to pay a red and sack an artifact, but that's just good. The other fun thing, as we'll begin to see as we move further through this, there's a lot of artifacts that have ETB abilities. There's a lot of good removal spells that have ETB effects that are artifacts. And Metalhead has a very interesting story where in the IDW books, well, in the 87 cartoon, if I remember right, I think he was built by Donatello. And is kind of, good guy, bad guy, gets confused, gets reprogrammed. It happens. But in the IDW books, at one point, Donatello is like gravely injured, and we're led to believe that he was basically dead. And they put Donatello's mind into Metalhead for a while. It was a very holy cow moment. Speaking of, we have Mind Transfer Protocol. 2 and a blue for an instant with until end of turn. That says, until end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/5, and you draw a card. This card wrecks House in Limited. I don't think enough people are paying attention. If you're in a heavy artifact deck, you just turn one of your foods into a 4/5. You get a surprise blocker or an extra attacker, and it replaces itself. It's a cantrip, right? Because you draw a card. So you cast this card, you draw to replace it. Also, this is the scene I was just talking about, where Donatello's brain got put into Metalhead. He got better. Don't worry. Next, we have Mondo Gecko, 1 blue for a legendary lizard mutant, 2/3. With pay 1 and discard a card. Until end of turn, Mondo Gecko becomes the color of your choice and gains hexproof from that color. Is your opponent about to try and kill your 2/3? Pay 1, discard a card. Now he can't be targeted by things of that color. And whenever Mondo Gecko deals combat damage to a player, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. So if you're in a 5-color deck... Oh, yo, what's up, Happy? Sorry, I didn't see your message earlier. Hey man, I've been missing all the streams this week, so glad to be here. It's bedtime for the lad, but I should be back by in a bit. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for coming by. Let me get you some shoutouts. Sorry, I missed your message there earlier. We've been in the turtle zone. There we go. There we are. All right. There's those shoutouts. Sorry, let me hydrate a little bit here. Okay. So that's Mondo Gecko. Mondo is, he was a fan favorite toy from the Playmates line back in the day. People loved Mondo Gecko because he was like this skater guy. Very cool figure. In the IDW run, Mondo is a member of the Mighty Mutanimals. Next, we have a classic Magic the Gathering spell, Negate. 1 and a blue for an instant. Counter target non-creature spell. This will counter any of those sneaky spells, the not creature ones that your opponents are trying to cast. If they're trying to, blow you out with a Kitsune's technique or something, it's a great way to stop that from happening. Or if they're just trying to remove your creatures, you could just say no. Next we have Ooze Spill. 1 blue for an instant. Counter target spell, and you create a mutagen token. This is I mean, it's counterspell. It's blue, counterspell. But for an additional 1 mana, you also make a mutagen. It's just great. It's just good. That's a good counterspell. Yeah, it's an extra mana, but you also get a rectangle out of it that could beef up your board or trigger your artifact synergies or make your Krang one cheaper. Many, many uses for that. Next up, we have Ray Fillet, the Man Ray. 3 and a blue for a legendary fish mutant, 3/3 with flying, and when Ray Fillet enters, create a mutagen token. Also, has pay 2, remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control, draw a card. This is just great. Pay 2, ditch a 1/1 counter, draw. You could put it on Ray Fillet, swing with a 4/4, remove the counter, draw. It's just a very good creature. Also, Ray Fillet is another Mighty Mutanimal, both in the IDW run and in the original Mighty Mutanimals from the 80s. Next, we have Renette, Temporal Apprentice. 3 blue for a legendary human wizard, 4/3 with flash, and when Renette enters, return each other non-land permanent that entered this turn to its owner's hand. So it's a very tricky card to play around. Probably most commonly you're gonna see this in Commander, right? Is your opponent doing Scoot Swarm shenanigans, making, thousands of tokens on their turn? Or are they making infinite creatures and then, trying to kill you? If you have the 5 mana up, you can flash this in and just negate that entire board. In Limited, I don't think this is seen as much. Like, yes, it's kind of removal. Maybe your opponent is playing, a big problem creature and you need 1 more turn to live. So, it's not bad. It's just, I think this card is going to see a lot more play in Commander than it does in, Draft. Also, Renette is a time sorceress. She's in a number of the versions of the comics, including in her very first appearance in the original Mirage TMNT Annual. She has this time scepter, and she's the reason why the turtles went back to the prehistoric age. Next, we have Retro Mutation, 2 and a blue for an enchantment aura with flash. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature is a turtle with base power and toughness 0/1. It can't attack and loses all other abilities. Yo, what's up, Roscoe? How's it going? Welcome on in. Welcome. Let me get you some shout outs here. There we go. There we go. Get you that one. And this one. There we go. Oh yeah, I wanted to point out on this card, this last one we saw. Oh, thank you so much, Roscoe. Thank you. You can see Leonardo transformed back into a tiny baby turtle. This is very reminiscent of some of the older video games where you'd get hit by like a blast by Shredder that would demutate the turtles. And also, this is just good lockdown for something. 3 mana, and it just becomes like, yes, they can block with it, right? But then the creature dies and it's off the board. it's pretty good. Pretty good removal for standard. Next, we have Return to the Sewers, 3 and a blue for an instant. Target creature's owner puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library, and you make a mutagen token. So 4 mana, you just remove something. At worst, it gets it off the board for a turn. At best, your opponent just says, now I'll bottom deck it. And now it's gone probably for the rest of the game. Next, we have the Sewerveillance Cam. A blue mana for an artifact with flash. When this artifact enters or leaves the battlefield, you may tap or untap target creature. So you can tap something down if you need to swing in, or untap something of yours if you need a blocker to surprise your opponents with. And you can pay 3 and a blue, sacrifice this artifact, draw 2 cards. That's just great. For 1 mana, I get to untap something. And then for an extra 4 on a later turn, I just draw 2. That's pretty good. I like the versatility of this card. It's very cool. Next we have Stockman, Mad Flyentist. 4 and a blue for a legendary insect mutant scientist. 3/4 with flying. When Stockman enters, draw a card. Then discard a card. It's just good card selection. You get to loot. You know, get a new card. Maybe you've been drawing a bunch of lands. Pitch a land. Maybe you're hard up for lands. Baxter here, Stockman rather, can help you find an island with island cycling for 2. So you pay 2, discard this, go get an island, put it in your hand. By the way, if you didn't know, this is Baxter Stockman, who is a human that worked at TCRI, the company that made the mutagen. He ends up getting mutated and turns into a giant fly. Next we have Turtles in Time. 5 blue for a sorcery. Return all creatures to their owner's hands. Each player may shuffle their hand and graveyard into their library. Then each player who does draws 7 cards. And you exile Turtles in Time. So, we've seen this before. This is a card called Time Twister. It is one of the Power 9 from Alpha. The only difference, this exiles. I don't remember if Time Twister does. I don't remember if Time Twister exiles itself after. But the major difference is this is a May. However, the other part that Time Twister doesn't do, this bounces all creatures to their owner's hands. So is your opponent in like a go wide token strategy? You bounce their entire board? That would be an absolute blowout. And the final blue card, we have Utrom Scientists. 2 and a blue for an artifact creature rather. Utrom Robot Scientist, 2/2. With when this creature enters, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. So of course, stun counters is the next time it would untap. Instead, you leave it tapped and you remove the stun counter from it. So it's just pretty decent. You get a 3 mana 2/2 that removes an opponent's blocker for 2 turns, or stops them from attacking with something for 2 turns. It's pretty decent. That's it for all the blue cards in our cube here. We are next going to look at the red cards. Or no, black. Right, Wooburg order. Alright, up first, probably the most popular removal in this entire set. We have anchovy and banana pizza. 2 black for an artifact food. With when this artifact enters, destroy target creature. Yuck. You just blow something up. That's just great. Remember all the blink things we've seen and all the things that'll like return or copy your artifacts with Donatello? That's just blah. I saw somebody use this in a limited game. They had 3 of them and had a blink ability that let them just blink stuff every turn. Their opponent could not respond. It just removes their entire board. Everything you try and play just dies. Also, because it's a food, you can pay 2, tap, and sacrifice this artifact, and gain 3 life. It's just very good premium removal for this set. Up next, we have Armagon, Future Shark. Not Armageddon, Armagon. 6 black for a legendary shark horror mutant. 9/6 with flash. And when Armagon enters, destroy up to 3 target creatures. This, yes, it is 8 mana. But it has flash, so you can do it on your opponent's turn, and then swing at them with a 9/6. That also kills 3 things. This is like Terrastodon levels of nonsense. But Terrastodon puts 3/3 elephants in place of the things it blows up. This does not. They get nothing. This thing is just an absolute powerhouse. Also, Armagon is a shark from the future that, in the IDW run at least, Armagon is basically, he is Armageddon. I know it's like Armageddon, but Armagon is his name. Anyway, it's a whole, Donatello from the future finds out that Armagon is, devouring all of reality, and then he wants to stop Armagon from being created, but turns out through him trying to stop it from happening, it's actually what causes it to happen. It's a whole thing. Next up, we have one of my favorite, one of 2 of my favorite toys as a kid. I really loved Bebop and Rocksteady growing up. So we have the first half of a pair, Bebop Warthog Warrior, 4 and a black for a legendary Boar Mutant Warrior, 5/4 with Menace, so it has to be blocked by 2 or more creatures. And rhinos you control have Menace. So Bebop gives all of your Rocksteadies Menace, and also has Swamp Cycling. So early game, helps you fix your mana if you need to. Late game, you have a 5/4 Menace for 5. That's just good. Next we have the Cloning of Shredder, 4 black for an enchantment saga, one of only 2 sagas in this set. Chapter 1, exile target creature card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary and is a mutant in addition to its other types. Chapter 2, create a token that's a copy of a card exiled with this saga, except it isn't legendary and is a mutant in addition to its other types, and it's the same for Chapter 3. So you make 3, you exile something from your graveyard, you make a token copy of it that's non-legendary, and then chapters 2 and 3, you make 2 more of them. So as the card art shows, 3 copies of your problematic card. If it's Shredder, great. Even better. Your opponent spent their premium removal on your Super Shredder. Make 3 of them instead. Next we have Death in the Family. 1 and a black for an instant, exile target creature with mana value 3 or less. It's kind of Fatal Push-esque, but it exiles. So it's permanently removed. This is a very
emotional moment in the IDW comics. This was right at the end of the City at War storyline, issue 100, when Shredder and Splinter kind of reconciled that, you know, they were like brothers in the Foot Clan growing up. And Splinter killed Shredder in the Vengeance storyline around issue 50. Shredder was dead, in hell, comes back. They, like, it's hard to explain without taking, you know, hours. But effectively, Shredder is forced to kill Splinter in order to save the city. It's a very emotional moment. And just the art on this is gorgeous. You have the 4 turtles there mourning the loss of Splinter. Shredder himself mourning the loss of Splinter. It's very cool art. Next we have Oh Dream Beavers. 1 black mana, or a black mana rather, for a Beaver Nightmare. That was my nickname back in college. 1/1 with flying, and when this creature enters, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life, and scry 1. This card is wildly powerful. For 1 mana. 1 mana 1/1 with flying that drains your opponent for 1, and you get to scry. It's just so strong. It is so wildly strong for 1 mana. And also, perfect ninjutsu target. Perfect sneak target. Return, like swing in with this, return it to your hand, hit him with your ninja, and then play this back out and just keep doing that every turn. It's just, what a powerhouse. Next we have the Foot Mystic, 3 and a black for a human ninja warlock with lifelink. And Disappear. This is another mechanic. It's a returning mechanic from Aether Revolt that was called Revolt. But it's been renamed Disappear here. So whenever this creature enters, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, create a 1/1 black ninja creature token. So you want something to have already left your battlefield, and then you play this. You get a 2/4 with lifelink, and a 1/1 ninja. Pretty good for 4 mana. Next we have Insectoid Exterminator, 2 and a black for an Insect Mutant 2/2 with flying and Disappear. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, scry 1. So again, you want something to have left, you play this, and then you get a scry. Not bad for a 2/2 flyer for 3 mana in black. That's not very common. Also, I can't entirely confirm, but I think this card is the Insectoid Exterminator. I think it's supposed to be the character Scumbug, but I don't fully remember. If I remember right, Scumbug was an exterminator who got mutated, turns into a giant bug. That's why it's the Insectoid Exterminator. Next we have Lord Dreg, Insect Invader, 3 and a black for a 3/2 legendary insect warrior with flying. And Disappear at the beginning of your end step. If a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, create a 1/1 black insect warrior creature token with flying. So this is one of the ones that you can have something have left and then play him, because it'll trigger at the end of your turn. But you could also play him and then have something leave, and it will trigger at the end of your turn. So Disappear is kind of, you really got to make sure you read it well, because some of them you need the thing to have left when you play it, and some of them are at the end of your turn. But also has pay 3 and a green and sacrifice a token to draw a card. So you could do that at instant speed. So you could sack that 1/1 insect you made and draw a card. Lord Dreg was a villain from much later in the 87 series. And he's appeared in a few of the other cartoon series. But it was at a point where giant alien bugs invade Earth. Next we have Madame Null, Power Broker. 1/3 legendary demon advisor with Death Touch. And whenever another creature you control enters, you may pay life equal to its power. If you do, put that many 1/1 counters on it. This card is stupid good. I don't know why there's not enough people talking about this. This is Railway Brawler territory, which is a green card from Thunder Junction, but in black. It's 3 mana 1/3 with Death Touch, already good. But then everything else you play, you can just pay life and make them bigger. Also, Madame Null is the president of the Null Group, which is another corporation in the comics. She's like a demon woman in the older comics, in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Avengers adventures from the 80s and 90s. It was Mr. Null. They changed it to Madame Null in the IDW run. And she's basically she's a villain. Wants power and money. Much better motivations than the TMNT Adventures Mr. Null, who was trying to take women to make a harem. It was a little weird. Next we have Ninja Teen. Somebody was asking, why we have leaders talent, because Leonardo leads. We have Donatello does machines. We'll be seeing Cool But Rude and Party Dude. They were like, why is the black enchantment Ninja Teen and it's just some ninja girl? First off, it's Karai, who was a teen and a ninja. But also, Splinter taught them to be ninja teens is a line from the original cartoon opening song. There you go. Ninja Teen is 2 and a black for an enchantment class with whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses a life. Imagine if you have Leader's Talent, where you also gain 2 life when that happens. That's just wild. That would be great. Level 2 for 1 and a black. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have menace. Great for you to be able to have extra sneak targets. Just make all of your stuff bigger problems and make them harder to block. And then level 3 for a single black mana. Creature cards in your graveyard have sneak for 3 and a black. So now I can just also you may cast creature spells from your graveyard using their sneak abilities. So now, mind you, it's giving everything in my graveyard sneak for that. If the card in my graveyard already has sneak for a different cost, I can pay its original sneak cost. So that 1/1 lifelink Leonardo, I can sneak from my graveyard for 1 white mana. This is such a solid enchantment for this set. Next we have Orokusaki Shredder Rising, 2 and a black for a 3/1 legendary human ninja with sneak for 1 and a black. Whenever Orokusaki deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose a life. That's Phyrexian Arena? I don't remember the name of the card. There's an enchantment for 3 mana that does the same thing. This is on a 3/1 body that you get to do every time you hit him. It's just very good. Who am I kidding? I think this whole set is good. I'm a little biased, though. But it's cool to see Oroku Saki getting a card and not just having it be, shredder after shredder after shredder. We get to see the man underneath the armor. Next up, we have Pain 101. 1 and a black for an instant with that says, until end of turn, target creature gains Death Touch, and when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Very good protection. You need Death Touch on something, you swing with a 1/1, your opponent blocks it with their big thing, you combat trick them, give it Death Touch, kill their thing, your thing comes back. This is just a very good gotcha card. You can see it's also Casey Jones taking on a bunch of thugs. Alright. For the second half of the black cards in the set, we have Paramecia Coloniax, 1 and a black for a 2/2 zombie worm, with when this creature enters, mill 3 cards. And when this creature dies, you may exile it. When you do, put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. So, this is a point in the comics that was kind of strange, but also needed to happen. So if you didn't know, in the original Mirage Ninja Turtles, in issue 1, they kill Shredder. They, beat the hell out of him. He goes to pull a grenade on him. They knock it back at him, shove him off a rooftop, knock the grenade off the roof, and he explodes and dies. Because they didn't think they were ever going to do a second issue. Turns out, Ninja Turtles was wildly popular. They did make more issues. And then they were like, well, we should figure out a way to bring Shredder back. So there's this Paramecia Coloniax, which are these worms that were feasting on Shredder's body. And that somehow ambulated him. It reanimated him. It was an interesting way of doing the, hey, we brought back our villain. Next we have Rat King Verminister, 1 and a black for a legendary rat avatar 1/1 with disappear at the beginning of your end step. If a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, create a 1/1 black rat creature token and put a 1/1 counter on Rat King. Also, tap and sacrifice 3 rats, return target creature card, and all other cards with the same name as that card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. The rat decks rejoiced the day they saw this card, because if you don't know, you have both Relentless Rats and Rat Colony. 2 pretty well-known cards in Magic the Gathering that say you can have any number of copies of them, and they all get bigger for the more rats you have. This is everybody's new favorite rat commander, because you could just make rats and then sack a few of them and get back all of your Relentless Rats. Next up, we have Savanti Romero times Exile, 3 black for a legendary demon wizard 4/4 with trample, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Savanti Romero. Then you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of counters on Savanti Romero. So it's kind of like the One Ring on a body, right? In that it's drawing you cards and dealing damage. But it is a trampling creature that gets bigger. It's a 5-mana 5/5 with trample the turn it comes down, that draws you a card and loses you a life. It's then a 6/6 that draws you 2 cards and loses you 2 life. And then it's a 7/7, draws 3, lose 3, right? You see where it gets out of hand. Now, I have to say, one of the things that a lot of people are missing, Savanti Romero it was the villain when they introduced Renette with the Time Scepter. So he steals the Time Scepter, and he's always mucking about with time. This is a timer, right? Eventually, this ability will kill you. So it kind of puts the game on a timer, both for your health total and your opponent's, because you're probably swinging with him every turn. It's just so good. Next we have Shark Shredder Killer Clone. 2 black for a legendary Shark Octopus Ninja. 4/4. With Sneak for 3 black. Has First Strike. And whenever Shark Shredder deals combat damage to a player, put up to 1 target creature card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It enters tapped and attacking that player. So, you swing with him. He hits with First Strike damage for 4. You take something out of their graveyard, and then you hit them with it. Note that it doesn't say you then get rid of the thing. It doesn't go away at end of turn. No, you just keep that thing. Whatever it is you reanimate from their graveyard is now yours until it dies again. This is another kind of stranger point in the comics where, like, Shredder was brought back to life as, like, the Paramecia Coloniacs, like, reanimated Shredder, but it also had DNA from a shark and an octopus, and it was a weird, cool, like, the art looked badass, but it was a weirder point in the comics, for sure. Next, we have Shredder Unrelenting. 4 and a black for a 4/4 legendary human ninja with Sneak for 3 and a black. Has Death Touch. And whenever Shredder enters or attacks another target creature you control, gains Death Touch until end of turn. Oh, I guess I didn't realize, I didn't point this out earlier. With the Sneak spells, you return a unblocked attacker to your hand, and you get to cast the spell right then and there at instant speed. With creatures that have Sneak, you return that unblocked attacker, you put this in its place, tapped and attacking. So when you have Sneak on creatures, it effectively is like ninjutsu. Except that you can't do it post-combat damage. Next up, we have Shredder's Armor. 1 and a black for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. And when this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. Great. You pay 2 mana, you get +2/+1 on a creature, just as it comes in. Its equip cost, though, sacrifice another non-land permanent, activate only once each turn. It's got a sack outlet attached to it, too, for all of your disappear needs. And it is non-land permanent, which is great. You could sack tokens, you could sack creatures, you could sack artifacts. It's a good little sack outlet for 2 mana. Next we have Shredder's Revenge. 2 and a black for a sorcery. Choose 1. Target player discards 2 cards. Or target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. So, you can do Hand Hate with it, or you can do draw for yourself. We've seen effects like this before in, like, Sign in Blood, where you get to draw 2, lose 2. But to the best of my knowledge, this is the first time we've also seen it stapled to a Hand Hate, where you make your opponent discard. Or you can make yourself discard, I suppose, if you're in a reanimate deck. Next we have Shredder's Technique. 2 and a black for a sorcery with Sneak for 1 black, or for a black mana. Destroy target creature or enchantment. If an enchantment was destroyed this way, you lose 2 life. That's great. It's just Feed the Swarm. It's Feed the Swarm for 1 black mana, but could hit a creature. And if you hit a creature, you don't lose life. Next we have Southwind Avatar. 3 and a black for a snake spirit avatar, 3/4 with death touch. And whenever another creature you control dies, you gain life equal to its toughness. And whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. So again, you have leader's talent, your stuff is leaving, you're gaining life, that's making your opponents lose life. Nice little what's the name of the card? Sanguine Bond type effect. Or was it Exquisite Blood? I think it's Exquisite Blood, where you gain and they lose. Yeah, it's Exquisite Blood. And this is the avatar Snake Eyes, another one of the Pantheon. Next we have Splinter Hamato Yoshi. 1 and a black for a legendary mutant ninja rat, 1/3 with sneak for a black. Has menace, and other ninjas you control get +1/+1. It's just a ninja lord. It's pretty great. Has menace. I do love that they are going with the IDW background of Splinter is Hamato Yoshi. Right? Like, in a few different versions of comics or cartoons, Splinter was Hamato Yoshi's pet rat. In the IDW run, the rat is the reincarnation of Hamato Yoshi. Excuse me. That gets mutated into a humanoid rat. So he's a rat that becomes a humanoid. Next we have Splinter's Technique, 3 and a black for a sorcery with sneak for 1 and a black. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle. It's Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor is in standard, y'all. All you have to do... Yo, what's up? How's it going, Bo? Glad to see you. Good to have you. Sorry, had to hydrate there. Got something caught in my throat. Let me get you some shout-outs there. There we go. And... there we go. Got the shout-outs in the chat for Dietetic Bow. So, yeah. This is just Demonic Tutor. Same mana, 1 and a black. All you have to do is return an unblocked attacker. But at worst, it's an easier to cast Diabolic Tutor. Still good. Like, this is it's just a solid tutor. Next we have the Squirrelinoids. A black mana for a squirrel mutant, 1/1 with death touch. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the Squirrelinoids, like where they come in. If that was part of the cartoon or an era of the comics, I'm not entirely familiar with them. But as a Chatterfang enjoyer, I'm glad to see we have 1/1 death touch squirrels. Next up, we have Stomped by the Foot. 1 and a black for an instant with Kicker. Get it? Because they're stomped by the foot. Kicker. Sacrifice an artifact or creature. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. If the spell was kicked, that creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn instead. Great removal. 2 mana, remove a small thing. Or 2 mana and sack an artifact or creature, remove a bigger thing. Like, it's premium removal. Next we have Super Shredder. 1 and a black for a legendary mutant ninja human, 1/1 with menace, And whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Super Shredder. Note it doesn't say under your control. If your opponent sacrifices mutagen tokens or foods, he gets bigger. Did you sacrifice mutagen tokens or foods? He gets bigger. Did their blocker die? He gets bigger. Did you sacrifice something of yours? He gets bigger. This thing just gets big. He gets real big real quick and is a perfect target for the Shredder's armor because it'll come down attached to him. He then becomes a 3/2 with Menace that you can pay the equip cost and just keep it equipped on him to just keep pumping him up. Next we have Tunnel Rats, 1 and a black for a 2/2 rat. You can pay 4 and a black to return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. We've seen effects like this before. In fact, Tunnel Rats itself might be a reprint. But yeah, it's 2/2 for 2 that you can keep it coming back if you need, you want to sack it. Great. You sack this to Shredder's armor to grow your Super Shredder. Then later you could pay 5, bring it back. Like, it's just good recurring creature. Alright, that is through all of the black cards. We are about halfway at this point. Almost. Let's see, what... We're not quite halfway. But we're approaching the halfway point. Alright, let's have a look at red now. Let's see here. There we go. All right. So, kicking off red, we have Bot Bashing Time. 3 in a red for a sorcery. Bot Bashing Time deals 6 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Decent removal in red. And it's permanent removal. Like, it exiles a thing if it dies. That's just pretty decent. Next we have Broadcast Takeover. 2 red for a sorcery. Gain control of all artifacts your opponents control until end of turn. Untap them. They gain haste until end of turn. If you're facing your opponent's artifact deck and you're in heavy red, you just take their whole board and hit them with it. If your opponents have a bunch of treasures, you just take all their treasures and now you have a bunch of mana. I think this card is a perfect answer to... I know it's banned in Commander now, for now. But if they do ever unban Dockside Extortionist, I feel like this is another good answer to that. Is your opponent making a lot of artifact things? Well, just take them and use them against them. Next, we have Casey Jones, Jury Rig Justiciar. 1 in a red for a 2/1 legendary human berserker with haste. When Casey Jones enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So he enters, you look at the top 4, you get an artifact, and then the rest go bottom. That's great. If you're in the artifact typo, the blue-red archetype for this set, you get a 2-mana 2/1 with haste that gets you an artifact. It's pretty good. Next we have Casey Jones Vigilante. 1 red for a 4/3 legendary human berserker with when Casey Jones enters, draw 3 cards. At the beginning of your next upkeep, discard 3 cards at random. Now, interesting enough, it doesn't make you discard at the end of turn. So you're spending 3 mana, getting a 4/3, and drawing 3 cards. That's just great. And if you can play those 3 cards, you're not discarding anything except the card. No, because yeah, if you play everything, it's in your upkeep. So the discard hits before your next turn's draw step. So you just got a 3 mana 4/3 that drew you 3 cards, and if you play them out, you didn't have to discard. There's no downside. We finally get red card draw. But is also his discard is also very useful with our next card, Cool But Rude. 1 and a red for an enchantment class that says whenever you attack, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So you're getting to rummage. Level 2, 1 and a red. Whenever you discard a card, this class deals 2 damage to each opponent. You just get to shock someone. Yo, how's it going, Charlie? How you going? You changed your name, I just noticed. Charlie's not even real? That's fair, I feel that. Enjoy your lurk. Thank you so much for coming. Glad to see you. Good to have you. You did it for the meme? Gotcha. I like it. I like it. And then level 3 of this class for 1 and a red. When this class becomes level 3, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, shuffle, then discard a card at random. That's gamble. That's the spell gamble. You just tutor for anything. Feeling a bit off, but not too awful. Hope you're well. I am doing well, thank you. And I'm sorry you're feeling a bit off, but I'm glad it's not too bad. Hopefully it gets better. Next we have General Trag, Heart of Stone. 3 red for a legendary artifact elemental soldier, 4/3 with trample. And when General Trag enters, you may sacrifice another artifact. When you do, General Trag deals 4 damage to target creatures. So you potentially just get to kill a creature by sacking an artifact on a 4/3 trampler. It's pretty good for 5 mana. Like, we used to pay 5 mana for a 4/5 with no abilities, and we were happy back in the day. Next we have Hard One Jite. 1 and a red for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has double strike and equips for 2. It's just great. Honestly, like, you pay 4 mana, you give something double strike, and now it just has double strike as long as it's there. Especially if you put it on something that has like a on damage effect, this can wreck shop. Next we have the Improvised Arsenal, 1 and a red for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control. This is cranial plating's text. We have cranial plating in standard, which is wild. And pay 4 and a red, create a token that's a copy of this equipment. So you can pay 5, make another one of these. And they both have that +1/+0 for each artifact text. Wild. Also equips for a single red. So 3 mana, you give something +1/+0 if this is your only artifact. But it's probably not. This can get out of hand very quickly. Next we have my girl Jenica's Technique. 2 and a red for an instant with sneak for a single red. Jenica's Technique deals 2 damage to each creature. I believe it was Pyroclasm had this text. So you're getting a 3 mana Pyroclasm or a 1 mana Pyroclasm. Return your thing that you don't want to die, if it's, toughness 2 or less, and then just nuke the board. Could be pretty good. Also, the face you see in the background on this card, behind Jenica, is her in her human form. Next we have Manhole Missile, 1 in red for an instant. Manhole Missile deals 3 damage to target creature. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you do, draw a card. So you're getting some card selection. But it's different than red normally does. Normally red does discard a card and, draw 2 or whatever. This, you're bottoming the card, you're putting it on the bottom of the deck, and you get to draw. So maybe you have a useless card in your hand, you just get card draw. And it's attached to a lightning strike. 2 mana, 3 damage to a creature? That's lightning strike territory. Next we have Mouser Attack. 1 in a red for an instant. Choose 1. Create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. Or target creature gets +3/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Great little combat trick. You just pump one of your creatures to get them for lethal, or makes you an instant speed blocker to stop you from dying. I like the versatility of this. It's a good combat trick for the attacker or for the defenders. Next up we have Mouser Foundry, 1 in a red for an artifact. When this artifact enters or leaves the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. And you can pay 4 in a red, sacrifice this artifact. It deals 3 damage to target creature. So you spend 2, you make a 1/1. And if this leaves the battlefield, like if you blink it, you make another 1/1. So if you blink it, you're making 2 1/1s off of this. And we've seen quite a few like exile and return effects in this set. Or you pay 5, you get to lightning strike something and make a 1/1. It's a pretty good card. Next we have Mutant Town Musicians, 2 in a red for a 2/4 mutant bard performer with trample and alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It's Sheena, Jenica's girlfriend, the one I was talking about earlier. The punk rocker that was mutated into a pig. Also, you can see Jenica on the bass there in their band. Their band is called After the Bomb. So that's why this kind of reads a little weird to folks that don't know the comics, but After the Bomb is the name of the mutant town punk band that is formed after the mutagen bomb goes off in New York City. So After the Bomb's take on thrash metal isn't for everyone, and Sheena wouldn't have it any other way. So that's what the flavor text is referencing there. Next we have Null Group Biological Assets, 2 in a red for a 3/1 mutant mercenary. During your turn, this creature has first strike. Whenever this creature attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. It's just great. So you have a 3/1 first striker that lets you loot when you attack. Or a rummage. I don't remember the name of these characters off the top of my head. One of them, but based on the flavor text, one of them I think is Zodi, but I don't remember which one. It's been a minute since I've read them, but the Scorpion and Snake Mutant, they work for Null Group, they work for Madame Null. They had a decent story arc in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe book that was running a few years back. But yeah, that's who those characters are. They're henchmen for Null Group. Next we have Old Hob Alley Cat Blues. So you remember I was talking about all the Mighty Mutanimals? That there is Old Hob. That's their leader. And you can see we also have Man Ray Filet, you got Mondo Gecko, you got Herman the Hermit Crab, you got Pigeon Pete, you got Slash, whom we'll see shortly. So Old Hob here, Old Hob Alley Cat Blues, 4 and a red for a 4/4 legendary Cat Mutant Rebel. With at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/2 red mutant creature token. It gains haste until end of turn. Destroy it at the beginning of the next end step. So interestingly enough, we've seen this effect in things before, but it would usually say exile or sacrifice. This one has you destroy it because Hob has for 1 and a white, target attacking creature token gains indestructible until end of turn. So you make the 2/2 mutant, it gains haste, you attack with it, you spend the 1 and a white, you make it indestructible, and then you don't lose it on your end step. It's just kind of, I like the flavor of this, that, you know, Old Hob makes mutants because he's the one that detonated the mutagen bomb in New York in the City at War storyline. Next we have Purple Dragon Punks, 1 and a red for a 2/2 human rogue. With tap, add a red mana. Spend this mana only to cast an artifact spell or to activate an ability. Now, it's not an artifact ability. You can use it to activate any abilities, but you can only use it to cast artifact spells. But, as you can see in the art there, if I remember right, I believe that's Casey Jones in the center, and I think this is Angel Bridge, who is another member of the Purple Dragons that ends up becoming nobody. I don't remember who that character is. I don't think that's not Hun. Hun was the leader of the Purple Dragons, and also Casey's dad in the IDW run. But the Purple Dragons is a street gang in the comics. And rounding out our red cards, we have Raphael Most Attitude, 3 and a red for a 4/3 legendary mutant ninja turtle with menace and alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, you may exile the top card of your library. Whenever Raphael attacks, until end of turn, you may play a card exiled with Raphael. It's just great. He exiles stuff, and then you attack with them, and you get to play those things. It's just good card advantage for red. This card is very good for red. Next we have Raphael Ninja Destroyer, 2 red for a 4/4 legendary mutant ninja turtle. Raphael must be blocked if able, and has Enrage. Whenever Raphael is dealt damage, add that much red mana. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. So it's kind of like the Ozai, the Phoenix King, with his fire breathing, right? But if you have, like, give him indestructible or beef up his toughness, you could make it so that you're swinging with something that must be blocked. Now, your opponent doesn't have to block it with a big thing, but it does make you mana, so you're getting mana ramp out of it. And if your opponent doesn't have any blockers, well, shoot, you're still swinging with a 4/4. Next, we have Raphael the Night Watcher, 2 red for a 2/3 legendary mutant ninja turtle with sneak for 1 red. It says attacking creatures you control have double strike. This is my favorite sneak creature in the set, because it can just, you swing with all your creatures, you pick the smallest one you have to return to your hand, you drop Raphael into play. Now all of your creatures have double strike that you're attacking with. This can blow somebody out. Like, this is a game-winning move right here. if you have the proper board. Next we have Raphael Tough Turtle. 1 in a red for a 1/3 legendary mutant ninja turtle with Alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, Raphael deals 1 damage to target opponent. It's just cool. I like this with Blood Artist. Then you have creature enters, 1 damage to target opponent. Creature dies, 1 damage to target opponent. It's just cool. I like the ability he has there. It's not often you see a pinger anytime a creature enters. Next we have Raphael's Technique. 4 red for an instant with Sneak for 2 in a red. So it's 6 mana normally or 3 mana if you sneak it. Each player may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. Now, there's an old card called Wheel of Fortune. It forces both players to discard and draw 7. The difference here, it's a May ability, so your opponent doesn't have to. But I think a lot of people are reviewing this incorrectly, in my opinion, right? Because they're looking at it as like, oh, force my opponent to discard and draw. Like, but if they only have 2 cards, they're drawing a fresh 7. That's not good. Now, in that case, they may choose to. But more than likely, what I would do is, this is my last card in hand. I'm going to sneak back one of the tokens that I made and draw a hand of 7. Or if I have Cool But Rude that gives me damage every time I discard a card, I discard a full grip of cards, and you can just kill your opponent on the spot. Like, I think this card is very good. Next we have Ravenous Robots. 1 in a red for a 2/1 artifact creature robot. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. This is the card you want in your artifact deck. Cast an artifact, make a 1/1. Cast an artifact, make a 1/1. Also has pay a red and tap. Creature tokens you control gain haste until end of turn. You just make a swarm of mousers. Next we have Rock Soldiers. 3 and a red for a 4/3 artifact creature elemental soldier. When this creature enters, destroy up to 1 target non-creature artifact. So these are, of course, the soldiers of General Trag, who we saw earlier. It's 4 mana removal for a non-creature artifact. Like, you get to blow up their food, you blow up their mutagen tokens, you blow up a treasure, you blow up their ooze, right? Like, decent artifact removal in red. And you're getting it on a 4/3 body. That is also blinkable. You could blink this and just keep doing that. Next we have Slash, the last of the mutanimals that we saw in Old Hobbs card, that we haven't already seen. Slash Reptile Rampager, 3 red for a 7/5 legendary mutant berserker turtle. With Alliance, whenever another creature you control enters, Slash deals 2 damage to each opponent. So we saw Raphael earlier that does 1 damage to target opponent. Slash does 2 to each. That's so good. And when Slash attacks, whenever Slash attacks, create a 2/2 red mutant creature token. So it's a 5 mana 7/5 that you attack with, makes a 2/2, you deal 2 damage to each opponent, and you're swinging with a 7/5. This card is so wild. Next we have Spicy Oatmeal Pizza, 2 and a red for an artifact food. When this artifact enters, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to you. This can go upstairs. It can kill your opponent. Is your opponent at 4? Kill him. Kill him with the spicy pizza. And I love that it deals 3 damage to you because it's spicy. Like, It's spicy pizza. It hurts you. But it is also a food, so you can pay 2, tap, and sacrifice it to gain 3 life. So you can gain the life back that you lost. But could also lead to a game draw, which is kind of funny. You know, if I'm at 3 life and my opponent's at 4, we just end the game in a draw for 3 mana. And next we have Wingnut, Bat on the Belfry. 1 in a red for a legendary Bat Mutant. 1/2 with Alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, Wingnut deals gains your choice of Flying, Menace, or Haste until end of turn. And whenever Wingnut attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. I love that Wingnut is named on the card, but also you can see the little mosquito mutant on their knee there. Tell me, Screwloose, aren't we good? Mm-hmm. So wouldn't that make them evil? Right. So Wingnut and Screwloose is a duo that I believe originally appeared in the Mighty Mutanimals, in the TMNT Adventures comic back in the 80s. And was such a cool looking toy. Had this little mosquito mutant, and you had this bat that had these tiny, like, malformed wings and had robot wings to actually be able to fly. I like Wingnut and Screwloose. And our final red card, we have Zog Triceraton Castaway. 4 in a red for a 5/4 legendary dinosaur soldier with reach and trample. Surprise reach, by the way. In red, no less. When Zog enters, target creature can't block this turn and has mountain cycling for 2. So we've seen, this is now our 4th land cycler. We've seen Jenica and Stockman and Bebop and Zog. And then we'll be seeing the last one, Rocksteady, in just a little bit. But 5 mana, 5/4 reach trample that stops a creature from blocking this turn. It's just a good value for 5 mana. Again, remember, back in my day, we used to pay 5 mana for 5/4s with no abilities, and they were called Fire Elementals, and we were grateful. So I'm glad to see Fire Elemental got a glow up. And that's it for our red cards. We are going to take a quick little break, as we normally do in the show. We're now a little past the halfway point, but this is a great chance for everyone to hydrate, get up, stretch, cycle your fluids, refresh your beverages, do all the self-care things. We are going to take a quick 5-10 minutes, and we'll be right back and finish out the rest of this turtle cube. Don't go away, friends. All right, and we are back at it again. Let's swap on over and listen to. Thank you again to Happy Boy Games, for the awesome theme music for the channel. We're gonna swap over and listen to some of the bangers by Omega on Deck, also friend of the channel, and thank you to Omega for letting us use his dope beats for the the streams as well. We'll put a link in the chat there for anyone who wants to check out the playlist we're listening to. And also as a reminder, friends, if you want to see the deck list for the Sewer Cube, the full deck list with all the various cards that we've talked about today, as well as all of the expansions that we'll be talking about in 2 weeks on our next episode when we do part 2 of the Sewer Cube. You can see that all on our Archidect page, which is in the handy dandy link that is in the pinned message in chat. So let's move back into it and start talking about the green cards in this set. Starting off with... Gonna switch to TV and lurk, Charlie? Hey, no problem. Thank you so much. Enjoy your lurk. Alright. So, we're starting off with Courier of Comestibles, which is a fancy way of saying a delivery driver. It's the food delivery driver. And I especially love to point out the flavor text. Forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. Of course, this was the opening line in the first Ninja Turtles movie, or one of the opening lines. They say, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. Also, it's a reference to, is it Kenji? It's Ernie Reyes Jr.'s character in TMNT 2, Secrets of the Ooze. He was a delivery driver. There's an alt art of this card that the flavor text says, by the way, did I mention I study martial arts? Which is a reference to his line in the movie. So Courier of Comestibles here is 1 and a green for a 1/2 human citizen. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a food card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. If you don't put a card into your hand this way, create a food token. So no matter what, you're getting a food, whether a token or one from your deck. Maybe you go get an anchovy banana pizza, or you go get your spicy oatmeal pizza, or you get another pizza that we'll be seeing shortly here. There's a lot of very good utility foods in this set, and the ability to just tutor them up on a body is pretty great. Next we have Cowabunga, a green mana for a sorcery. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a mutant, ninja, turtle, or land from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is just better Adventurous Impulse. Like, Adventurous Impulse does the same thing, but I think it's only 3 cards and just gets a creature or land. This, a little more specific on the creature type, but digs 4 deep. So, pretty decent dig spell. Next we have Frog Butler, or as I like to call him, the Frutler. 1 and a green for a 1/1 Frog Spirit with Death Touch, and tap, add a mana of any color, and pay 2, this creature gains reach until end of turn. So literally surprise reach. You can have a 1/1 Death Touch blocker that could be a mana dork, that at instant speed you can just suddenly give reach. And then this character is Alberto, who's the Frog Butler to the Toad Baron. The Toad Baron is one of the another one of the avatars from the Armageddon game. Next we have Ground Chuck and Dirtbag. one of the toys that I loved as a kid growing up was Ground Chuck. He was this like cybernetic bull creature. Absolutely loved Ground Chuck. Ground Chuck and Dirtbag here is 4 green for an 8/8 legendary Ox Mole mutant with trample, and whenever you tap a land for mana, add green. So it's in addition to whatever mana the land tapped for. So all of your lands tap for 2 mana now. And it's an 8/8 trample for 6 mana. This is just a bonkers card. That, like, this is 2026 Magic, baby. You pay 6 for an 8/8 with trample that makes all your mana tap for double. This is incredible. Next, we have Guac and Marshmallow Pizza. 1 green mana for an artifact food with flash. When this artifact enters, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Untap it. I love that this is it's a great surprise blocker trick. You just 1 green, +2/+2, untap your blocker, send them in. They're big enough to kill something your opponent's trying to attack you with. It's just great. Great utility there. Also, it's a food, so it has pay 2, tap, sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. So all 3 of the pizzas we've seen, you can gain life, and they have good versatility and utility. Next, we have Leatherhead Swamp Stalker. 2 and 2 green for a 5/4 legendary Crocodile Mutant Rogue with trample, and Leatherhead enters with a hexproof counter on her. And whenever Leatherhead deals combat damage to a player, you may remove a counter from her. It doesn't have to be the hexproof counter. If you put a 1/1 counter on her, you could remove that. When you do, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. So you hit somebody with this 5/4 trampler, you remove the 1/1 counter after you've dealt the damage, and you get to blow up an artifact or enchantment. That's pretty good. Like, considering that we had Reclamation Sage for 3 mana that comes down with that's smaller and doesn't have trample, this has hexproof, or has a hexproof counter. You could remove the hexproof counter. I don't know why you'd want to. Better to put a 1/1 counter on it, swing with a 6/5. But I also wanted to point out, I do love that originally Leatherhead was a male character in the most recent Mutant Mayhem movie, which I finally did watch and was very good. They made Leatherhead a girl who was voiced by, I think it was Rose Byrne. And I love that they went with that version. In this, Leatherhead is female. I also had the Leatherhead toy growing up. It was another one of my favorites. It was a very cool toy. Next, we have Michelangelo Game Master. 2 and a green for a 3/3 legendary mutant ninja turtle with disappear. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Michelangelo. It's great. It works with your mutagen tokens. You sacrifice a mutagen token, you put a 1/1 counter on Michelangelo, he's a 4/4, and then on your end step he becomes a 5/5. It's just good. Next we have Michelangelo Improviser, 3 and a green for a legendary 4/4 mutant ninja turtle with sneak for 2 green. And whenever Michelangelo deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card and or land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Doesn't say tapped. So you sneak it in for 4 mana. You hit him for 4 damage. You drop any creature and a land from your hand. So really you're only paying 3 mana. And you're getting another creature out. This card is bonkers. Next up, we have Michelangelo Mutant BFF. 2 green for a 4/4 legendary mutant ninja turtle. Each creature you control with a counter on it can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Such a good ability. Just you're making it so that your opponent is forced to make bad blocks for a 4-mana 4/4. And whenever Michelangelo enters or attacks, create a mutagen token. So you could have a 5-mana 5/5 that can't be blocked by more than one creature. That's just great. It's so good. Next, we have probably my favorite version of Michelangelo. Michelangelo Weirdness to 11, 1 and a green for a legendary mutant Ninja Turtle 1/1 with when Michelangelo enters, create a mutagen token. And if one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. So, comes in, makes a mutagen. You got a 2-mana 1/1. You could pay an extra mana and put 2 1/1 counters on it. So it's a 3-mana 3/3 that continues to make all of your mutagen put 2 1/1 counters. That's so good. It's hardened scales on a creature that gives you the ability to make 1/1 counters effectively. Next up, we have Michelangelo's Technique, 4 and a green for a sorcery with Sneak for 3 and a green. Look at the top 8 cards of your library. Put up to 2 creature cards with total mana value, 6 or less, from among them onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So 4 mana, you dig 8 and put up to 2 creatures with total 6. That could be 1 6-mana value. That could be 2 3-mana values. Could be a 2 and a 4. Like, you can get a couple bodies out of this for 5 mana, or even better, for 4 mana. 4 mana, look at the top 8, get 6 mana worth. It's very, very mana efficient. Next up, we have Mona Lisa Science Geek. 2 and a green for a 1/3 legendary lizard mutant with reach. A lot of people forget she has reach. And tap, add X mana of any one color where X is Mona Lisa's power. So you keep making her bigger, she taps for more mana. It's very, very good. I also love that they went with the Sophie Campbell IDW Comics version of Mona Lisa, where she's a horny toad, the lizard. Next, we have Mutagen Man, Living Ooze. One of my all-stars of the set. Mutagen Man here is X green for a 2/3 legendary Ooze mutant with Trample. Activated abilities of artifact tokens you control cost 1 less to activate. And when Mutagen Man enters, create X mutagen tokens. So you spend 5 mana, let's say X is 3, you make 3 mutagen tokens that you can crack for free now, because mutagen tokens cost 1 to activate. So now, all those mutagens are free. All your foods crack for 1. All your clues crack for 1. Like, this is so good. It's like a Hydra, basically, right? Where you, like, what is the value of X? Cool, it's that big. But, I mean, you pay 5 mana, you get 3 mutagen tokens, you're getting a 2/3 that could easily become a 5/6 with Trample. 5/6 with Trample on 5 mana. If you have Michelangelo Weirdness to 11 out, now all of those mutagen do 2 1/1 counters. That could be a problem for your opponents. Up next, we have Mutant Chain Reaction, 2 and a green for a sorcery. Destroy up to 1 target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. Create a mutagen token. So we've seen this a number of times. This is pretty common thing you see in standard sets. You have like Broken Wings or Naturalize, right? Things that will destroy artifacts, enchantments, or creatures with flying. But this has the added benefit of also making you a mutagen token. It's pretty good. Pretty good removal for green. Next up, we have New Generations Technique. 3 and a green for a sorcery with Sneak for 2 and a green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So, if you're doing the Sneak, this is better Cultivate. Cultivate is 2 and a green. You search for 2 basic land cards. You put 1 on the battlefield tapped. The other goes into your hand. This gets them both into play tapped. And if you still have a land in hand, you could play out another land. But even still, at 4 mana, that's, what is it? Reach the Horizon. We've seen a number of ramp spells that do this, where it gets you 2 lands into play tapped. Also, the New Generation, these are the 4 new turtles from The Last Ronin. So it's Uno is, I don't remember who is who. I believe Uno is in the front there. Moja is the pale turtle. I think Odin and Yi. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've read Last Ronin. Well, specifically Last Ronin Lost Years and Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution. They are much more prevalent in that. But I love that there's also, it's kind of hard to see, but there's the 4 turtles in the background. So you have the 4 original turtles in the background art for New Generations Technique. It's very cool art. I really dig that one. Sorry, I noticed something on the inside of my sleeve there. One sec. Yeah, I'll deal with that later. Alright, next up we have Novel Nunchaku. 2 and a green for an artifact equipment. When this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. When you do, equipped creature fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. So you just get a fight spell for 3 mana. But this equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has trample. So you're making the thing, it comes in and automatically attaches, gives the thing +1/+1 and trample, and you get a fight spell out of it. Like, that's so good. And it equips for 3. It's a great way to surprise your opponents and knock them out before they knew what hit them. Next we have Party Dude. 1 green mana for an enchantment class. When this class enters, each player creates a food token. Cool. 1 mana, I make a food token. Yeah, my opponent gets one too, but that's fine. I get one. Also, for 1 and a green, level 2, whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card, which is why it makes foods for all the players. And then 4 and a green, level 3, whenever 1 or more of your opponents are attacked, up to 1 target attacking creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. So you're making food. Whenever their artifacts are going to the graveyard, you're drawing cards, and then one of your things is potentially getting big, depending on how many cards you have in hand. It's pretty decent. Next we have Primordial Pachyderm. 3 and a green for a 4/4 elephant avatar with reach and trample, and when this creature enters, you gain 2 life. 4 mana 4/4, reach and trample, and gaining 2. It's pretty good. Also, the Primordial Pachyderm here, again, is one of the avatars from the Armageddon game, and his name is Manmoth. Manmoth. It's difficult to say, but like mammoth, but a man, he's a man mammoth. A mammoth man, he's a manmoth. Next, we have the Ragamuffin Raptor, 4 and a green for a 4/3 dinosaur. When this creature enters, return up to 1 target creature or food card from your graveyard to your hand. So you kind of get like a regrowth effect. It's kind of neat. Maybe you played one of your pizzas, killed a creature, sacrificed it to gain the life, then you drop the raptor, you get the pizza back, you play it again, you get its effects again. Pretty good extra use of your artifacts. Or creature, for that matter. Next, we have the final of the Land Cyclers, Rocksteady Crash Courser, 4 green for a legendary Rhino Mutant, 7/7. So a 6 mana 7/7. Rocksteady can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. And boars you control can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Also has forest cycling for 2. So, as we saw Bebop earlier, Bebop has Menace and gives your rhinos Menace, meaning they have to be blocked by 2 or more creatures. Rocksteady can't be blocked by more than 1, and boars can't be blocked by more than 1. So if you have Bebop and Rocksteady out, they're unblockable. That's so good. You're getting a 6 mana 7/7 that's unblockable if you have Bebop out, and then you have Bebop, who is, I think, a 5/4 with Menace, or a 5/5, that's also unblockable. You're threatening 12 unblockable damage amongst those 2. Next, we have Saved by the Shell. 1 and a green for an instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a turtle. So if you have any turtle creature, it's 1 green mana. Put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. It gains trample, hexproof, and indestructible until end of turn. So good, right? This is heroic intervention, or what's the other one? It's not Hardened Scales. Snakeskin Veil. It's just like those, but you just need to have a turtle. Like, it's pretty good. Beefs your creature, gives them trample, hexproof, indestructible, so it whiffs their kill spell, or if your opponent's about to board wipe, you get to save your biggest thing. It's just a very good trick. Next, we have Tenderize. 1 and a green for an instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. So this is what's called a bite spell, like Rabid Bite. Same mana as Rabid Bite, does the same thing. You just punch something. So whatever your creature is, just hit something. This, very fun with a Death Touch creature, because it is that creature dealing damage. So even if their creature is massive, you have your 1/1 Death Toucher, your Frog Butler, punch their other creature and just instantly kill it. Next, we have Transdimensional Bovine, 2 and a green for a 0/4 Ox avatar with flying, and tap, add 2 mana of any 1 color. So this card throws a lot of people off, right? It's basically like Birds of Paradise. Birds of Paradise is 1 mana for a 0/1 with flying that taps for a mana. This is 3 mana. It's a 0/4 that makes 2 mana and still has flying. It throws people because they're like, why is there a flying cow head in Ninja Turtles? So this was a character from the Archie Comics Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventure series named Cuddly the Interdimensional Transdimensional Cowlick, I think was the full name. Something like that. Cuddly the Cowlick. It's a giant cow head that can travel between space and realities and transport beings in its mouth. So Cuddly would show up almost Deus Ex Machina style regularly and like scoop a bunch of people up in his mouth and take them across the galaxy or to another reality and drop them off. It's basically a cow TARDIS. Next, we have Turtle Power. 2 and a green for an enchantment with Flash. Turtles you control get +2/+2. If you're in a turtle-heavy deck, this is a lot better. Like, 3 mana surprise +2/+2. This can do some work. But you got to be very turtle-heavy. Next, we have Venus. Torn Between Worlds. 4 and a green for a 5/5 legendary mutant frog turtle. That throws people. Whenever Venus is dealt damage, put that many +1/+1 counters on her. Note, she must survive the damage to get the counters. Whenever a creature you control with a counter on it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay a blue. If you do, draw a card. So, card draw. Card draw on your creatures with counters on them. It costs you a single blue mana. You get to draw a card. But it's for each creature that you control with a counter on it. So if you have 5 creatures with 1/1s and you have 5 open blue, you could pay 5, draw 5. And mind you, whenever she's taking damage, she's getting bigger. So, Venus, I love Venus. She originally showed up in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Next Dimension, or The Next Mutation live action series from Saban, around the same time as Power Rangers in Space. And very notably, Peter Laird, one half of the creators of the Turtles, hated Venus. Kevin Eastman, the other half, loves Venus. He said in a number of cons that he loves Venus. The reason why she's a mutant frog turtle, and why you can see she has 3 fingers on one hand and 4 on the other, because in the IDW comics series, you have the punk frogs, right? And the punk frogs all have 3 fingers and a thumb. They have 4 fingers. Venus, in the IDW run, she dies. And her body gets found by this crazy rat doctor that basically Frankensteins her. Like, he finds Donatello's destroyed shell from the time that he was beaten almost to death and then his mind was transferred into Metalhead for a little while. Well, he finds that shell and begins to piece together Venus with various turtle parts and brings her back to life as a turtle. This also because of how he brings her to life with this magic dragon scale, it also gives her mystical powers, because in the next mutation, she was a shinobi with mystical powers. So I really like how they changed Venus around for IDW, where she's both a punk frog and a ninja turtle, but she's been through the ringer. She's literally been like Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. She was she kept trying to escape and she'd get caught, and the doctor would get upset and she'd try and escape and get caught. And so he took her apart. He took her arms and legs off so she couldn't run away anymore. It was super messed up. But I love that Venus got a card, and that's why she just keeps coming back stronger. She takes damage and she comes back stronger than before. It's very flavorful to her story in the comics. And I just love Venus. The first girl turtle. Love Jenica, but Venus, she was technically the first girl turtle. Next we have Westwind Avatar. 5 green for a 7/7 cat spirit avatar with trample. And whenever this creature enters or attacks, you may sacrifice a token or a land. If you do, you gain 3 life. Pretty good if you're in life gain stuff. Or you want Disappear triggered, which, by the way, also has Disappear. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, draw a card. It's pretty good. Also, love that this character is the Westwind Avatar is a character named Jaguar, like Jaguar. It's Jagwar. He's one of the spirit avatars in the Armageddon game. He's the West Wind Avatar. But in the original Mutanimals books, Jaguar was one of the Mutanimals. But in the IDW run, they turned him into Spirit Avatar. And our final green card, we have Zoo Escapees. 1 and a green for a 2/2 Boar Rhino. With when this creature leaves the battlefield, create a mutagen token. Again, Boar and a Rhino. So if you have Rocksteady, can't be blocked by more than one creature. If you have Bebop, has Menace, it's a Boar Rhino. And it also happens to be the Zoo Escapees that they... There's a few references here. So in the 87 cartoon, Shredder steals a boar and a rhino from the zoo and mutates them with humans to make Bebop and Rocksteady. But also, like, in a bunch of the Turtles video games, there's a zoo level where you have stampeding boars and rhinos that you have to, like, dodge. It's just a multi-tier turtle reference. That's it for our green cards for this. Next, we are going to have a look at our multicolor cards. Sorry, one sec here. Let me move these cards out of the way. All right. Into our multicolor. So up first we have Baxter Stockman, head of StockGen Industries. 3 blue-red for a 3/3 legendary human scientist. When Baxter Stockman enters, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. So you're getting a 3/3 and a 1/1 for 5 mana. But at the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact creature you control gets +3/+0 and gains first strike and vigilance until end of turn. So he comes in as a 3/3, makes a 1/1. The next turn, you can swing with that 1/1, and it's a 4/1 first strike vigilance. That's just, it's very, very powerful. I just love that he, of course, Baxter has to come with Mousers. Next, we have Bebop and Rocksteady. 1 Golgari, so these are hybrid mana, black-green, for a 7/5 legendary Boar Rhino mutant. Whenever Bebop and Rocksteady attack or block, sacrifice a permanent unless you discard a card. As long as you have cards to discard or permanents to sack, you're getting a 3 mana 7/5. It's so strong that you could also give Menace or only blockable by 1 creature if you have the other Bebop and Rocksteadies out. Like, such a powerful card. Next up, we have Brilliance Unleashed. 4 blue-red for a sorcery. Choose one or both. Brilliance Unleashed deals 5 damage to target creature. So 6 mana, 5 damage. And or choose target artifact card in your graveyard. Return it to the battlefield if it's an artifact creature card. Otherwise, return it to the battlefield and it's a 3/3 robot artifact creature with flying. So you can get back any artifact. If it's a creature, you just return it. If it's not, it becomes a 3/3 with flying. And you still get 5 damage to target creature. You can do one or both. It's just, this is a very good modal spell. Next we have Dark Leo and Shredder. Hey, remember that time I was talking about when Shredder had Leo brainwashed and turned him into a member of the Foot Clan? This is that. This is the City Fall storyline. So Dark Leo and Shredder here, white and a black for a 1/3 legendary mutant ninja turtle human with sneak for white and a black. Attacking ninjas you control have Death Touch, and whenever Dark Leo and Shredder deal combat damage to a player, create a 1/1 black ninja creature token. Then, if you control 5 or more ninjas, that player loses half their life rounded up. Mind you, it counts itself. This is a ninja, and it makes a ninja. So, say you do Last Ronin's technique, get your 3 turtle ninja spirit warriors, right? Then you drop this in, and then you make a ninja. Then your opponent loses half their life. That's so messed up. This card is messed up. Next, we have Dawn and Leo Problem Solvers. 3 Azorius for a legendary mutant ninja turtle, 4/6 with vigilance, and at the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target artifact you control and up to 1 target creature you control, then return them to the battlefield under their owner's control. This is the big blink piece that I've seen in the set that, like, somebody had this and a couple of the anchovy banana pizzas, and you just blink the anchovy banana pizza, you remove their creature, you blink one of the creatures that comes in and destroys a creature, and they just blink those over and over, and just your opponent never gets to play creatures. It's very good. After that, we have Dawn and Wrath Hard Science. 1 Is It, so hybrid blue-red, for a 2/4 legendary mutant ninja turtle. With Menace, whenever Dawn and Wrath attack, the next non-creature spell you cast this turn has affinity for artifacts, so it costs 1 less for each artifact you control. Works great in a Donatello deck, works great in a Raphael deck. Wrath decks want to be on the attack, Donatello decks want artifacts. It's just very good. Next, we have the EPF Point Squad, which is the Earth Protection Force Point Squad. No, it's not called the Point Squad because she's pointing. She happens to also be pointing in the Point Squad, but that's not why they're called the Point Squad. 1 Boros for a 2/1 human soldier with Alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. It's just, it gets out of hand. Like, you drop this on turn 3, you got a 2/1, maybe you have like Old Hob that makes a 2/2 mutant, right? This gets bigger, you get a 3/2, it just keeps growing. Very good common for the set. Next we have Foot Elite, 2 and Orzhov, so white or black hybrid, for a 2/4 human ninja. Whenever this creature attacks, another target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. So like I said, in that the Raphael that takes damage and makes red mana equal to the damage he's taken, you put this in a red-white deck, you get the Raphael, you get the Foot Elite, you make Raphael indestructible, you swing with him, you make more mana. It's pretty good. Next we have the Foot Ninja, or Foot Ninjas. 4 Azorius, or Orzhov rather, so black-white hybrid, for a 5/5 human ninja with Sneak for 3 and Orzhov, so black-white hybrid. When this creature enters, you gain 3 life. Cool. They just come in, you get a food level of life gain, and you're getting a 5/5 that you're sneaking in for 4. Pretty good. Next we have Genghis Frog, green and blue for a 1/3 legendary frog mutant rogue with trample. Why would a 1/3 have trample? Well, whenever Genghis Frog or another mutant you control enters, create a mutagen token. If you haven't noticed, there's a lot of mutants in this set. Also, Genghis is famously one of 2 punk frogs that they made toys of. It was Genghis Frog and was it Attila? No, it was Napoleon Bonafrog. That's the only two they ever made toys of with the Playmates line. But they are two of the 4 punk frogs. Next we have Go Ninja Go. I'm sorry, you're already thinking of the Vanilla Ice song in your head now. Red and white for a sorcery, choose one or both. Exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So you get a blink. Or, Go Ninja Go deals damage equal to the greatest power among creatures you control to target creature an opponent controls. So, it's not a punch spell. Well, it is a punch spell, but it's not a bite spell because it is not the creature dealing the damage. It is the spell dealing the damage. So whatever your biggest thing is, it's dealing that much damage. So what I really like about this is, unlike with a fight or a bite spell, if your opponent has a death toucher, you can't really fight or bite it. You just have to hope that, you can attack with something and eventually they'll block with their death touch creature. This is nice because it'll remove that creature while still keeping your big creature around. Next we have Ice Cream Kitty. Oh, look at the kitty. 1 and Golgari, so black-green hybrid. For a 1/3 artifact food cat mutant, pay 2, sacrifice another creature or token, draw a card. Activate only as a sorcery. This card has been doing work for people, man. Like, this Ice Cream Kitty is so good. You just sack off your useless stuff and draw cards. You can also pay 2, tap, and sacrifice this creature to gain 3 life. But if you do sacrifice Ice Cream Kitty, you are a monster, and you should go to jail. Because Ice Cream Kitty is adorable. Ice Cream Kitty is Michelangelo's cat that lives in the freezer. Next we have Karai, Future of the Foot. 1 white black for a 3/3 legendary human ninja with sneak 2 white black, so she costs more to sneak. But when Karai deals combat damage to a player, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. But if her sneak cost was paid this turn, instead return that card to the battlefield. So you just, for 4 mana, you just reanimate something. That's just, it's, why is Karai so powerful? Next we have Karai's Technique, 1 white black for a sorcery with sneak for a white and a black. Choose one or both. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn, or target creature gets -3/-3 end of turn. And if you can choose both, why not choose both? Give your thing +3/+3, give their thing -3/-3. Might just kill their creature outright. Alright, we're about halfway through the multicolor cards. Let's have a look at the other half here. We have Krang and Shredder, 4 Demir for a 6/7. Uh-oh. The kids are already doing the hand movement. Legendary Utram Human Ninja. Whenever Krang and Shredder enter or attack, each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. And disappear at the beginning of your end step. If a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, you may cast a card exiled with Krang and Shredder without paying its mana cost. So, it enters and you get an Atali effect. Each of your opponent's exile stuff. Note that it's until they hit a non-land, and they don't return the things. So if they hit a bunch of lands off the top, those lands are just permanently exiled. They're gone forever. And then you have one thing leave. You crack a mutagen token. Boom, you get to play a free spell. This card is nutso. Next we have The Last Ronin. 4 black-green for a enchantment saga. Chapter 1, destroy all creatures. Chapter 2, mill 4 cards. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So it doesn't have to be one of the ones you milled. You could just return any creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And then Chapter 3, whenever a creature you control attacks alone this turn, put 3 +1/+1 counters on it. It gains trample, lifelink, and indestructible until end of turn. So if you haven't read The Last Ronin, like, everybody dies except Michelangelo. And then the mill 4 return a card. The mill 4 it's losing Splinter and his 3 brothers. But then Michelangelo comes back. And then, because of the loss of his family, they've galvanized his resolve. So he becomes more powerful and is able to win in the end. The flavor of Last Ronin, I love it. Next we have Lessons from Life. 2 green, blue for a sorcery. Draw 3 cards. You may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. So Harmonize is a spell that's existed in Magic for a long time. It's 2 green, green, and you draw 3 cards. We added blue instead of a green pip and let you mana ramp. They combined Growth Spiral and Harmonize. It's wild. Also, I love that this has Lita, the future turtle, or the turtle child from the future. You got Raph, Donnie, Leo, and Mikey, and Jenica. And in the art, they're playing Magic the Gathering. We have Magic the Gathering on a It's the exhibit meme. Yo, dog, I heard you like Magic the Gathering, so now we have a Magic the Gathering card that plays Magic the Gathering while you play Magic the Gathering. I love that art. Next, we have Mechanized Ninja Cavalry. 1 and Boros, so red-white hybrid, for a 1/1 artifact robot ninja. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. This is a great artifact to blink with Donnie and Leo. You just blink it, you make another 1/1. You blink it, you make another 1/1. You just keep blinking this thing. Use Go Ninja Go, blink it. Next we have Mikey and Dawn Party Planners. 2 Simic, so green-blue hybrid, for a 3/3 legendary mutant ninja turtle with Ward 2. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play lands and cast mutant, ninja, or turtle spells from the top of your library. If you cast a creature spell this way, that creature enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. This is just so good. It's Future Sight, but you also get 1/1 counters on your creatures. Like, I love the combination of this, and giving it ward so that it isn't just like insta-killed. Very good card. Next we have Mikey and Leo Chaos and Order. Selesnya, which is green-white hybrid, for a 2/2 legendary mutant ninja turtle. Whenever you put a counter on a creature you control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. The reason why they have the once a turn, I've heard a few people bring this up. They're like, why is it only once a turn? The other guys do other stuff multiple times. This is once a turn because of things like Leader's Talent. If you had Leader's Talent or Sally Pride, or you channel Action News Crew for 6 and you have a board full of creatures, you could like draw half your deck because you put a 1/1 counter on so many creatures. If you have Mikey Weirdness to 11, where he does 2 1/1 counters, it's that many +1. So it is 2 1/1 counters. That's 2 instances of placing a 1/1 counter. Yeah, this had to trigger once a turn, or this card would be busted. It's already pretty powerful. Next we have Mouser Mark 3. 1 and Izzet, for a 2/3 artifact robot creature. This creature can't attack unless you control another artifact. It can block, but I also love the flavor. So this is an enemy from one of the video games. One of the attacks they would do, they have these like mouser face hands. They'd grab your character and spin them around and throw them. And you can see they've grabbed Donatello there, and they're swinging him around. I love the little reference to the video games. Next, we have the neutrinos. Okay, so this one throws a lot of people, right? The neutrinos have a very long storied history. Let's go over the card. So the neutrinos is 2 red-white for a 2/4 legendary elf rebel with flying and alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, the neutrinos get +1/+0 until end of turn. And whenever the neutrinos attack, exile up to 1 target creature you own, then return it to the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking. Note that if you had Kitsune out, Kitsune exchanges the two creatures, you could blink your own creature that you gave them and have it return under your control, tapped and attacking. Now, who are the neutrinos? The neutrinos are teen neutrinos from Dimension X, which is the same dimension that Krang came from. They were in the 1987 cartoon, and not only that, they were in the first season, which is like the first 7 episodes of the cartoon. This is like old school Turtles characters. However, they did make a comeback in the IDW comics, and they were given much more character. They weren't just, 90s teens with a flying car. But yeah, a lot of people are thrown by this. They're like, okay, well, I guess there's just elves in a flying car in Turtles. Like, yeah, it's like, this has been around since 1987. It's been a while. Next, we have Nobody. 1, and is it for a 3/2 artifact human hero. When this creature enters, return up to 1 other target artifact you control to its owner's hand. Scry 1. Bounce one of your pizzas back to your hand. Play it again. Note that the reason why the 3 pizzas, the anchovy banana, the spicy oatmeal, and the guac and marshmallow, the reason why 2 of the 3 pizzas are not in blue-red is because otherwise artifacts, like the artifact deck is already really powerful and limited. If you gave all the pizzas to blue-red, it would be disgustingly powerful. You'd be able to do everything with these pizzas. But as it is, you do get to bounce your artifacts. So maybe you're in like red-black or blue-black, and you've got the anchovy banana pizza. That's the nice thing about the hybrid mana, is that in limited you could, run more than the 2 colors. It's not like Commander. But yeah, Nobody I think is pretty cool, and it's an older character from the comics, from the Mirage era, but also is in the IDW comics because there was Angel Bridge, whom we saw in the Purple Dragon Punks. She ends up getting this robot suit from one of these scientists, Harold Lilja, who is the one that put Donnie's brain in Metalhead while he was recovering. Well, at one point they needed help, and the only person who could help them was Angel, and she was given Harold's power armor suit effectively, and became a crime fighter and went and helped them. It was a very cool moment. Angel's a cool character, and I really like her as Nobody, especially because her and Alopex end up becoming kind of like a team fighting crime. Next, we have Northwind Avatar. 2 blue, blue, red for a 5/5 Dragon Spirit Avatar with flying. And when this creature enters, if you cast it, you may put a card you own from outside the game into your hand. So, this is called a wish spell. You go get, in limited, you go get something from your sideboard, or in like 60 card if you're playing standard, you pull a card from your sideboard, You get it straight to your hand. It's a great toolkit utility piece. And this is one of the avatars from the Armageddon game, Glyph. This dragon here. Now, this card does not work in Commander because you don't have a sideboard in Commander, but still a 5/5 flying dragon for 5. It's not bad. Next we have Pizza Face Gastronomer. Pizza Face is so gross. I hated how the toy looked growing up. It always disgusted me. It was such a weird, like, toy design. He's a weird little freaky pizza man. But they also captured that grossness in this card. So Pizza Face Gastronomer here is 3 black green for a 2/4 legendary artifact food mutant creature. When Pizza Face enters, create a food token and disappear at the beginning of your end step if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 other target artifact or creature. If it isn't a creature, it becomes a 0/0 mutant creature in addition to its other types. So he turns your food tokens into bodies. Also, you can pay 10 and tap and sacrifice Pizza Face to gain 15 life. So it's the normal food token sacrifice times 5. It's just wild, especially if you have reanimate stuff. Like, gaining 15 can be a game-swinging amount of life. Your opponents won't know what to do. It does cost 10, so it's kind of magical Christmas Fairy Dreamland to get that to proc. But if you do, it'd be funny. Next we have the Punk Frogs. We talked about them a little earlier when we saw Genghis Frog and Venus. Punk Frogs are 3... No, not Selesnya. I'm mixing up my guilds. It's also getting late. The time change threw me off. Simic. There we go. 3 Simic for a 4/5 mutant frog mutant rebel with ward 3. Pretty good. 5 mana 4/5 ward 3. Your opponents don't want to waste removal on it, or don't want to pay the extra to remove it. And yeah, you got all 4 of the Punk Frogs there. Actually, no, there's more than 4 in the IDW comics, right. I don't remember all of them by name. I remember Genghis Frog. I remember Napoleon Bonafrog. Attila. There's Attila the Hun, and... I don't remember the last one. They're all named after 4... conquerors. Next we have the Putrid Pals. 2 Golgari for a 3/3 human ooze mutant with death touch and disappear. This creature enters with 2 +1/+1 counters on it if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn. So again, you want something to have left the battlefield before you play them, so that they come in as a 4 mana 5/5 with death touch. But even if you don't, it's still 4 mana 3/3 death touch, which is still pretty good. And the characters shown here, again, very weird and kind of gross toy. Came out around the same time as the Toxic Avenger cartoon. You have Muckman and his sidekick Joe Eyeball. They're garbage men who got transformed. They got mutated into Muckman and Joe Eyeball. The toy was especially fun because you could, like, pop his head off and his backpack, and they had ooze, like the snot, slime ooze that you could pour into Muckman, and it would, like, leak out of his nose and mouth, and he had a giant hole in the center of him that it would also leak out of. It was a weird toy design, but kind of cool for the 90s. Next, we have Raph and Leo, sibling rivals. 1 Boros for a 2/4 legendary mutant ninja turtle. Whenever Raph and Leo attack, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, Untap 1 or 2 target attacking creatures. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. It's just extra combats. It's great. 3 mana, extra combats on a 2/4 body. That's pretty good. Next up, we have Raph and Mikey Troublemakers. 5 Gruul, so red-green hybrid, for a 7/7 legendary mutant ninja turtle with trample and haste, so they can attack the turn they come down. Whenever Raph and Mikey attack, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So you swing with a 7/7 trample haste. If you've just filled your deck with big creatures, you're just getting free beef onto the field. Very cool card. Next we have Slithering Cryptid, 2 and Simic for a 2/3 fish mutant. When this creature enters, create a mutagen token. Pretty straightforward. And this is, it says here in the flavor text, the Slithery. He snatches little kids and keeps them in cages. He don't got no legs and just slithers, says Lita. It's a creature that came up towards the end of the IDW run when Lita shows up in the comics. Next we have Splinter Radical Rat, 1 Orzhov for a 2/4 legendary mutant ninja rat with, if an ability of a ninja creature you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. And pay 1 and a blue, target ninja can't be blocked this turn. This is the only card in the set that has a 3-color identity. The fact that it double triggers all your ninjas and can make your ninjas unblockable. This card is being like windmill slammed as the commander in blue-black ninja decks, because you could play it blue-black, but then you have access to white now, so you have all of white's removal spells, or all of the great new, like, you can run all of your Leonardos, all of your Shredders and Splinters, and all of your Donatellos in this deck too. It's a pretty cool card, and you get to double all their triggers. It's just wild. Next we have Tainted Treats, 1 black-green for an instant, destroy target artifact or creature. If its mana value is 4 or less, create a food token. Pretty good removal. 3 mana, you kill a creature or an artifact, and if it was a low-cost one, you get a food for it. Pretty good. And our final multicolor card, Taka and Razar. It's not Toka and Razor. Taka and Razar. Terrible 2s. Rakdos, so black-red hybrid, for a 3/2 legendary turtle wolf mutant. With this spell can't be countered, Menace, and whenever a player casts a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it was less than its mana value, Taka and Razar deal 3 damage to that player. So all of your opponent's sneak abilities, they now get a lightning bolt to the face for it. This card is perfect against your opponent's sneak deck. So that's the last of the multicolor cards. We're now going to have a quick look at the artifacts and colorless and lands. And then that will be it for tonight. All right. So kicking off the artifacts, we have Chrome Dome. 2 mana for an artifact robot ninja 1/3. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+0. And you can pay 5, create a token that's a copy of another target artifact you control. That token gains haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Interestingly enough, a lot of people have been commenting lately about like, oh, every time they give a character a name in Magic, it's a legendary. Chrome Dome is his name. But he's not legendary. So you can make a token copy of him. Or any other token artifact creature. Second Pizza Face, sacrifice him to the legend rule. Triggers disappear on the first one. Pretty decent. Next we have the 5-color Dream card. Everything Pizza. 2 mana for an artifact food. When this artifact enters, search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And pay 2 in Wooburg. So 2 white, blue, black, red, green. Tap, sacrifice this artifact. Target player gains 3 life and draws a card. Each of your opponents discards a card. This artifact deals 3 damage to any target and put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature. So you get land fixing for 2 mana that then you can pay 7, and it literally does everything. It is an everything pizza. I actually really like this card. I love that they also included it in the Commander Precon. Just a cool card. Next we have the Henchbots. 4 mana for a 2/3 artifact robot creature. When this creature enters, exile target tapped creature an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. You just get to lock something down. You O-ring something. 4 mana 2/3 O-ring something. It's not bad. And it's an artifact, which matters in this set. Next we have the big boy. Krang Utrom Warlord. 9 mana for a legendary artifact Utrom robot creature. 9/9 with flying, trample, indestructible, haste. And other artifact creatures you control have flying, trample, indestructible, and haste. It's a lot of mana, but if you get it out, this card will probably win you the game. Next, we have one of probably my favorite blink target in the set, the Omni Cheese Pizza. 2 mana for an artifact food. When this artifact enters, draw a card. Great. I want to blink this over and over. I want to copy this over and over. I want to just keep making more cheese pizzas and drawing me cards. But also, pay 1, tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. Cool, it's got some fixing, some filtering. Or you could pay 2, tap and sacrifice this artifact to gain 3 life, because it's a food. Next, we have the Ooze. I love the cute baby turtles. The Ooze is a 2 mana legendary artifact with whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it leaves the battlefield, create a mutagen token for each +1/+1 counter on it. And tap, exile target card from a graveyard, create a mutagen token. This can make you a lot of mutagen. If you pair this with the Ozolith too, bonkers. You're in a 1/1 counter strategy, get the Ozolith out there, somebody kills your creature, oh, all those counters are going on the Ozolith, also I'm making a bunch of mutagen. Oh, here's Mutagen Man, all those mutagens sack for free. Oh, now I'm going to move all the counters from my Ozolith onto Mutagen Man. This card's great. Next up, we have the haste enabler of the set, Skateboard. 1 mana for an artifact equipment. When this equipment enters, tap target permanent. Could be a land, could be anything. Could even be a boat. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste and equips for 1. So 2 mana, equip to your thing, tap down something of theirs, beef your thing, give it haste, send it in. Skateboard is awesome. Next we have the Technodrome, 2 mana artifact construct 3/3 with reach and trample. And this creature can't attack or block unless its power is 6 or greater. Also, you can tap, sacrifice another artifact to draw a card, and put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Now, the drawing a card is great, but in my opinion, it's best by just putting a bunch of mutagen tokens, put the 1/1 counters on this, then get you a 2-mana 6/6 reach trample. That's the play right there. And then, you know, you can throw a bespoke bow on it, give it vigilance, keep sending it in, tap at the end of their turn to draw a card. But in limited, this card's kind of a trap. A lot of people look at it and they're like, it says draw a card. Of course I want this. Like, I have yet to see this actually attack people. Next we have the Turtle Blimp, 5-mana artifact vehicle, 3/4 with flying, and when this vehicle enters, create a 2/2 red mutant creature token and cruise for 2. So it creates the token that crews it. It's pretty good. 5-mana 3/4 that comes with a 2/2, so you're getting 5/6 worth of power and toughness for 5 mana. One of them's a flyer. You can use the 2/2 to crew the 3/4. Pretty decent. Next we have the Turtle Van. 3-mana artifact vehicle, 4/4. Cruise for 1. And whenever this vehicle attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature that crewed it this turn. Then, if that creature is a mutant, ninja, or turtle, double the number of 1/1 counters on it. Double your 1/1 counters. What's not to love? This is dope. I love the Turtle Van. And our final artifact of the set, we have Weathermaker, 3-mana artifact with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a charge counter on this artifact. You can tap, add 1 mana of any color. So 3-mana Mana Rock. Great in 5-color decks. Tap, remove 2 charge counters from this artifact, add 2 colorless mana. That's Soul Ring mana. And tap, remove 3 charge counters from this artifact. It deals 3 damage to any target. That's Lightning Bolt. The versatility on this sphere is so good. I can get a Arcane Signet mana, I could get Soul Ring mana, or I can get a Lightning Bolt off of it. This is possibly one of my new favorite mana rocks. And into our lands. Up first, we have Dimension X. There's a new cycle of enemy gain lands. I'm curious to see if they will do allied gain land, new allied gain lands in like Secrets of Strixhaven. So we have Dimension X. It's a land, enters tapped. When it enters, you gain a life. Taps for a red or a white. Perfect. Dimension X is, of course, the dimension where the neutrinos and Krang come from. We have classic fixing. Escape Tunnel finally got a reprint after first appearing in Murders at Karlov Manor. I like this better than the other versions that do this. That being Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse. Because Escape Tunnel has that ability. You tap, sacrifice this land, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. But also has tap, sacrifice this land, target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. So in the set where you have a bunch of mutagen tokens, I could tap and sacrifice this so my 2/2 can't be blocked this turn. And then crack a bunch of mutagen tokens, make it gigantic, and send it. So good that this caught a reprint. Next we have Foot Headquarters, the black-white gain land. So just like Dimension X, enters tapped, enters you gain a life, taps for black or white. Foot Headquarters, self-explanatory. It's the headquarters of the Foot Clan. Next we have Illegitimate Business. This is the black-green new gain land. Enters tapped, you gain a life. I think this is supposed to be... This is either a reference to the Purple Dragons or possibly Pizza Face. I'm not entirely sure where the illegitimate business is, but it looks like it's supposed to be a pizza parlor, or at least it's a front for Mob Pizza Parlor. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like Pizza Face's restaurant, or before he was turned into Pizza Face. Then we have Mutant Town. You've heard me talk about it a few times. This is what happened after Old Hob detonated the mutagen bomb in the City at War storyline. This is the green-blue gain land from the Turtle set. Enters tap, gain a life, and gets you good fixing for green and blue. Then we have the only rare land in the set, Northampton Farm. It's a land, taps for colorless. You could pay 1, tap and exile target creature you own. And you could pay 2, tap and sacrifice this land. Return a creature card exiled with this land to the battlefield under your control. Return each other card exiled with this land to its owner's hand. So, you have some instant speed save my creature from a board wipe. It does enter untapped. And then you pay... I love this part, where normally an effect like this of the pay 2, tap, sack this land, it returns the creature to the battlefield. So it's kind of like Airbend. But then normally it's like, oh, everything else I exiled is just, it's permanently gone. I love that this puts all of the other exiled stuff back in your hand. So if I'm using this over multiple turns to like bounce my stuff to exile or save it from kill spells, I can just get them all back to hand. And then one of the things comes back to play. Next we have TCRI building. This of course is the headquarters that Baxter works at, Baxter Stockman. That's also a front for the Utrom, where they made the ooze. This is the blue-red gain land. Enters tapped, you gain a life. Then we have Turtle Lair. Possibly my favorite land from the set. More than likely. Turtle Lair taps for colorless. You can tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a ninja or turtle spell. And pay 3, tap, target ninja or turtle can't be blocked this turn. The versatility in here, the fact that this is like, it's a command tower or a city of brass or a mana confluence, or not, is it mana confluence? Anyway, it's a 5-color land effectively, but can also do colorless if you don't have a ninja or turtle to cast, but also pay 3 and your ninja or turtle can't be blocked, so you can start doing sneaky stuff. And then we move into the basics. These are the the full art basic lands of the set. These ones are all in foil, of course, because it's a foil cube, or will be in its final form. So we have, these are called the rooftop basics. You have the plains, you got the 4 turtles there. The island. The swamp. Mountain, and the forest. You can see 195, so that is the entire 195 cards in the Magic the Gathering Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set. Flip the camera around here. And that is all of the cards in, well, all of the standard cards, I should say, all of the base cards in the sewer cube. And that is where we're going to call it for today. I want to thank everybody so much for watching today. I've truly been looking forward to doing this episode for weeks. I've been looking forward to building the sewer cube for months. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm very much enjoying this set. It's very, very cool. I'm very happy. Thank you so much, Wizards of the Coast, for making a Ninja Turtles set, because as a turtle fan, this is what I've been waiting for all my life since playing this game. So, very cool set. Reminder, we will be back with the next episode of Such a Brew About Nothing, episode 6, with part 2 of the Sewer Cube, where we'll be looking at all of the different expansions for the cube that I put together. So that is all of the exclusive team-up cards, all of the exclusive commander cards, all of the secret layer cards, all of the source material cards, basically all of the different bonus cards that are in the cube as well, so that it's not just a 4-player pick 2 draft cube. It can also be a 4-player commander draft cube, or I think there's enough cards to do an actual 8-player draft as well. So there's a lot of versatility in there. But in any case, we will talk about that in a couple weeks. Coming up this week, want to remind everybody we'll be back again on Tuesday with Missive and Readable, playing more Detroit Become Human. Pretty awesome narrative game. Weird bug that, like, there's no face cam on the stream, so it's audio. Like, you see the gameplay, but you won't have my face on it. You just get my commentary with it. But it works. And then Thursday, of course, will be replay with Nier Automata. We'll be completing the first playthrough, or, well, not first playthrough, but the Route A playthrough. That. And moving into some of Route B as well. And then no streams on Saturday this month. I know we were doing Stellar Blade. We did do the stream yesterday. The game is okay. Like, the game isn't bad. I didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would. And it's a lot longer than I thought. And I think it's something that I want to do more off stream. And so we're just going to take a break from Epic Solo for the month of March. And just take that day off. Do some mental health days. Practice safe gaming and self-care, like I tell you all the time. So no Saturday streams for the rest of the month, at least until April, when we'll come back and... because by the end of March we'll be doing... I've already forgotten the name of it. Life is Strange Reunion. So, no Saturday streams for the rest of this month. And then in 2 weeks, so 2 weeks from today, we will be back with Such a Brew About Nothing to finish out talking about the Sewer Cube. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. Let's see if we have any friendos who we can raid into, shall we? Let's see here. Who is on right now? Ah, perfect. Yep, Team Evil is on right now. So, you will see some raid messages in chat there, friends. Do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind. Let's go ahead and... let's... Thank you again to Happy Boy Games and Omega on Deck for your dope tunes. It's always a pleasure hanging out and jamming to your awesome music. So we got the raid message there, and sub-raid. Copy your favorite flavor of raid message, friend, if you don't mind. So we are going to... raid on in to Team Evil 1991, also known as JR to the homies. Friend of the channel, one of our regulars. We're going to go show him some love. He is reading through Life is Strange Forget Me Not, which is the Life is Strange comic that takes place after Life is Strange True Colors, which is one of my favorites. So, once again, I would like to thank everybody so much for watching. I will see you guys again very soon I hope you have a lovely evening, and until the next one, I've been Tryon. You've been amazing. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we will see you in the next one. All right, everybody. Y'all ready to raid?